Hello all, I'm your not so humble game master TJ, and this is Dice of Ages presenting Baker's Dozen. So how are you doing? Guys, last time was really intense, lots of emotion, lots of sadness, there's a lot of stuff going on. We're going to get into the recap of what's going on with that in a moment. However, we are going to do what we did last time, which is challenges and quizzes. I have one question. I only have one question today for a quiz for you guys, but you can challenge me if you think you have a question that you can stump me in, and these are for world inspirations. So, my first quiz is, what is the name of Lady Masha Ehrenbach's husband? What is his first name?
Tony.
Guy. Just
Guy.
Guy.
Keith.
Is that your final answer?
I feel like he never comes up, you know?
It doesn't come up often, but I
No.
believe I have mentioned him, I think, only twice, if I remember correctly, over the course of this entire campaign.
It was like one of those names that was like pebbles in a flowing river, like one of those.
Nope.
Oh, never mind. All right, Keith. Final answer.
Keith, final answer. It was not Keith.
Sir,
That
you
is-
said Ehrenbach.
Ehrenbach, yes. So Lady Masha Ehrenbach, her husband. What is...
Lord Ehrenbach is his name.
That's not his... What is his first, name? What is his...
Sir Lord.
Not his title,
He
and not his
could've been.
prefix, but...
I don't know. I don't remember ever writing that in my notes.
Yeah, I don't
There.
know.
I can tell you...
That'd be lovely.
Does anybody have a guess?
I'm zeroing in. Hold on.
You're zeroing in? Okay.
Selenius the 13th. The Selenian.
What's that?
I don't know.
Nah. Got it.
Daddy.
Maybe that's what
Daddy.
Maybe that's what Lady Masha calls him in certain times.
Oh my god.
When you're an elf, you got to keep things interesting, I guess.
You're zeroing in?
Oh, hey,
Here's
Randy.
a name I don't recognize. Kronek. Oh, I think that was a carpenter. Yeah, I don't.
Does anybody have a guess?
You've heard my guesses. I unfortunately
Okay.
don't have anything.
Okay, so Lord Ehrenbach's name is Alberto. Alberto.
That's sure.
Alberto. So Alberto or Alberico, if you want to be Anglican about it.
Spelling?
Alberto. Lord Alberto Ehrenbach. And that has kind of like the implication because there's a bit of an Italian thing to the whole High Elven thing, but there's also some like Slavic influences. There's a lot of... It's a weird made-up language. I did it myself. All languages made up, all words made up. So do whatever you want.
All right. Well, you stumped us.
Doesn't come up very often.
Yeah.
All right. So does anybody have a
Nice.
challenge then for me?
Just make the deal today for
Yes, you can have your deal
Nishani.
for your twin names. Sure.
Yay.
Yeah, whatever. Your silly twin names.
They're not silly. They're very important.
They've stumped me all the time. She got like 2 inspirations the last Argent Flame game from me. It was insane.
And we
made
needed
many
them.
Yeah, you used them immediately. Okay, no challenges?
Nope.
Okay, then we're going to move right on. Here we go. We're just going to talk about a little bit of the recap real quick about what happened last time. Speaking of which, I called the last episode Hiking Up That Hill, A Deal with Dog, hiking up that hill, a deer with a dog. And Noelle came up with that, and
Yeah.
it was amazing. And I was like, yes, honey, yes.
Thank you.
Perfect.
And thank you, Kate Bush.
Thank you, Kate Bush. Pour one out for you, babe. You guys
dead?
were near the dawn of the 41st of Hylock. You had recently defeated the Red Lion Syndicate by destroying the boat and like knocking out the captain, who was that half orc, or was he a full orc? I don't remember. It doesn't matter. But a bunch of people that were summoned to evacuate left, went back home. Tammy, you descend from the sky and talk to your family as the prodigal son returns, and you try to spend as much time with your family as possible because you don't know how long Mima has left. But a guilt-stricken old Cameo comes by and confesses that his debts were swept clean by a deal that he made to delay the missive sent to you by Lady Masha Ehrenbach until you came homeward.
Was it to this is what I was confused. Sorry, was it
Sure.
to delay it, or was it to just
He
not give
received
it to
it-
me until he saw me in person? Until you could give it to me in person?
No, because he had seen you in person.
Oh, that's right.
Before, right? Because remember the Lonely Island, the Lovely Island, and all that stuff? He had seen you, I believe, 2 other times. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it was 2 other times before you actually were back home in Longdeck. And
But the
he
other
had
thing is
had
when
it
I-
already by that time.
when I sent to Pendleton Beville, he didn't seem nonplussed about the fact that it had been that long since.
Nonplussed
Maybe he
about the
didn't
fact
even know
that
about the letter. Like he wasn't like you're.
it
just
was
getting
it was from
now?
Lady Masha Ehrenbach, not Pendleton Beville.
No, I know, but like I figured he would have known about it because I sent to him in order to.
I mean, Pendleton Beville is not Lady Masha Ehrenbach, so I mean, there's a very good chance that he didn't know about it. They are. Pendleton Beville is stationed in Tulay, near where the Bardic College is, and the annex to the Bardic College, the new college, is called the College of the Unearthed. Because like we're the Bardic University, and the College of the Unearthed is new. Which is one of the reasons you had sent your application there to try to be accepted, and you did, and you like remotely got accepted by Pendleton Beville, and he was like the dean of admissions for that. But the College of the Unearthed is a new thing. It's rather recently been created, as far as you know, by, I'm not sure if we discussed this, but there was a benefactor who was able to fund it, and therefore they were able to now start delving more into archaeology and College of the Unearthed and all that type of thing, due to a very wealthy benefactor. But as far as, I mean, Lady Masha Ehrenbach is a very powerful person, of very high status in Sarn-Le, not in Tulay. So, I mean, they're in 2 entirely different cities, which are over 100 miles away from each other. And and if you remember, the Sarn-Le is where the Lithuanian Confederacy is based, which is like the remnants of the oligarchy, the families of the Elven lineage. Because technically the Elven line, the Elven race is endangered at the moment. There's just so few of them left. And they all, of the ruling families, this oligarchy of families in Sarn-Le, are called the Lithuanian Confederacy, and they all claim some sort of heritage back to the old Elven Empire, the old Selendian Empire, whether it be from nobles back then or direct relations to Emperor Selendis himself. So, do you have another question about that before I continue, or
No,
does that
sorry.
make more
Keep going.
sense now? Okay.
Yeah, it makes
cool.
more sense.
Okay, so you don't know how long you have with your mother because of the laughing fever, but old Cameo said he felt guilty about what he did. But you don't know who actually paid off his debts and actually where the deal came from, because it came from somewhat anonymously. Because the letter that he got was muddled, the trail was muddled through like couriers and proxies, and you don't really know who it was. But it was somebody powerful because it happened, and he doesn't have any debts anymore. So then we have Nakano, Macheni, and a Scoop. You guys hear the dog nearby, and you find Sheila. You decide to hike it up that hill, and you because you promised the deceased fellow, by the way, that's Felo, that had died on the ship that Nakano ushered his soul up into the sky. While Nofret and Tamron have a heart-to-heart on a toilet seat. And then after people rest, and you guys rest in like a dog pile, cuddle puddle, you guys had noticed there was a collar on Sheila, and it was like a very finely made, like elven style collar that was on Sheila. And then you find that this little hidden pocket in it, and you discover, both Nakano and Michelle discover, that there was some sort of poison inside of that little pocket, some sort of powder, like a very easily aerosolized powder, very, very fine, like flour. You took a sample, and then you went back down the hill, went back to the Grounder estate. You met back up. Mima had slinked away and went off to the garden to try to like do work and dig holes and stuff. Sean, stop clicking the microphone.
Sorry.
It's okay. I have to call you on it because I can't give you like a signal.
Put it down.
We need to give you a fidget spinner or something, a little fidget toy. So Mima had slinked away, and she was in the garden because she didn't want to possibly transmit the disease because it's very transmissible to you guys. And then a scoop, painstakingly, every second of every day, ritually casted silence over you in order to make sure that there was some sort of bubble of non-audio, there's no sound, so that it would make it so that you could be safe around your family and she could hang out with her husband and you, and it wouldn't be transmissible. And he did that every second of the entire day for you. MVP for that. Very selfless, very tear-jerking. Nakano sees this and has some emotions that she doesn't want other people to see, so she goes into the forest, just like Nofret went into the forest and like cried and punched a tree, and she does like kind of the same thing. She's like, no, I can't be weak, I have to be strong, death, emo, edgy. Like, death is cool, it's not sad.
Thanks.
So, hey, I mean, this is how you made your character. That's how you described her to me. So I'm just doing my best here. So meanwhile, Macheni is in the Grounder estate, going through all of the documents that Nofret had collected, looking to see if she could find any type of like clue as to any type of treatment or cure or whatever they could possibly do, and going through crackpot theories and everything, and eventually narrowing it down with the help of Nakano, while the rest of them are making some good berry mead, to realize she does a couple experiments on the powder and realize that it is some form of rock's tongue mixed with like Drakesh skells that has somehow weakened her immune system so much, and then imposed some anti-Majin stuff on it to turn some of her anatomy into more Drakesh, like kind of like grafting, almost like cancerous, but the opposite side of when other types of like
it's
a
just
mutation.
replacing.
It's replacing the cells with other types of cells. So like her lungs were actually transforming into more Drakesh anatomy than they were halfling anatomy, and the immune system was severely reduced due to some other stuff. So it made her that much more susceptible to laughing fever, and that's how she caught it. It specifically made her more susceptible to specifically laughing fever only. And that's how she caught it, because she's in a port town, so it was just a matter of time at that point. But you do realize, with the help of Nakano, because you guys are really smart together, that perhaps her only hope could be a transplant, meaning she needs a new diaphragm and she needs new lungs, like a decent set, ones that would be compatible with her anatomy and that type of thing. And when you have this realization, Nakano, you hear this voice in the back of your mind's periphery that says, "Well done, my warden. Well done. It is your choice now." And that's where we left off.
Fantastic.
So, Nakana, you're leaning up against the mantle, like near the fireplace, across the way from the couch, the very small couch meant for halflings that Macheni's manspreading on because she's looking on all these papers on the coffee table. As you hear this voice and you have this realization, and both of you have the realization of the transplant at the same time, but Nakano, you're the only one that hears the voice. The boys are still making mead. A scoop still ritually casting and smiling at people, trying to like use an elbow every once in a while to push things closer, ingredients closer to people. Day is yours. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, we're in the early evening of the 42nd because it was the end of the 41st. Hold on, let me just double check.
Yeah.
It was the end of the 41st where we picked up the last session, and then you guys slept on the top of the hill and went to bed. And so I believe, and you guys had the whole day to do things like dig in the garden or tend the garden, dig in the sand, walk Sheila, which Mima has often been doing lately, which would make sense, and brew some mead. And so I believe we're in the early evening, if not like mid-evening, of the 42nd.
Of Hylock?
Of yes, still
Of
Hylock.
Hylock,
But
okay.
let me check. Yeah, let me check to make
Just-
sure there
yeah.
are 42 days in Hylock. That's a very good point. Boop boop calendar. Pop you up.
I just randomly hear voices.
You know, that's normal.
It's normal.
Got like Severus Snape living in your head.
Dumbledore.
Well done, my warden. You know.
Yeah.
Turn to page. Well done.
Oh, there you go. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't
Well,
have.
That's
that
the
was
kind of
pretty
voice
good
I'm
there.
imagining.
Yeah.
Harry Potter.
Well done. Well done, my warden. It is your choice now. Sometimes he puts an inflection on the end of a sentence, even though it's not a question.
Yeah.
Didn't he die?
Yeah. He
Yeah.
did.
R.I.P.
Yeah, you did.
Alan
Yes,
Rickman.
there
Yeah.
are 42
Oh.
days in Hylock, so this is the
Okay.
last day of Hylock.
Okay.
It is
evening.
Zyla, which is like kind of like the Sunday, because Gondar is kind of Saturday.
Right.
There's
Gondar.
no fighting.
No
on Gondar.
fighting on Gondar. Never.
Zy-
So tomorrow, because this is the evening
Didn't
of the
even know there were
40
days of the week.
There are, yes. Their days of the week are Zyla, which is kind of like a Sunday. There's no Wednesday, pretty much. There's only 6 days in a week. It's Zyla, Onda, Kusha, Uriel, Adriel, and Gondar.
6.
So
Like
tomorrow is the first day of Achiel, which is midwinter, which means the port starts to get less. Once like it's officially like winter has started at the first of Achiel, because it's technically midwinter. Technically, winter actually does start near the end of Hylock in the latter days of Hylock. But it's officially recognized as winter being started for like the farmer's almanac and for the trading almanac, so that certain ships that do move throughout that require certain environments can't do trade as much during the colder, because the water gets more choppy. There's currents that move through. There's cold fronts. It's complicated. If you get too far to the north parts of the Twin Isles, you need icebreaker ships in order to break through the solid ice of the brackish water. So tomorrow's the first day of Achiel. That's what you know. Anyway, the evening is yours.
Thank you for helping me find out the answer, Nakano.
Yeah.
Okay, we need to find a donor, or, you know, we did just kill a few people. Maybe there's a halfling that's actually still in pretty good shape. You know, it could fit nicely in the cavity. We could just get, you know, if they're still out in the field.
Are you attempting to try to like assess your options in your head?
Yeah. Well, I'm talking out loud
Yeah.
with Nakano.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just like saying, is that what you're going? Because
Yeah.
I'm going to have you roll something then, because you can roll an animagen check, which is technically an intelligence check with proficiency, because it has to do with. Well, no, it's just a medicine check. I'm an
Yeah.
idiot. It's a medicine. I'll give you. Yeah, I'm an
Okay.
idiot. Go ahead, medicine check.
Not great. 14.
14. There are many humanoid species throughout, at least that you know of, throughout the continent of CrestVahllen. Drakesh are probably some of the more esoteric anatomy. Although they are warm-blooded, it's harder to find something that's like a match for that. But you don't really have to worry about that as well. They're kind of an outlier, meaning the first thing that comes to mind is that you know that if you tell Tamron this, he's going to be like, take my diaphragm, take my lungs, take whatever it is you need to do of mine, and you realize that's not going to work, or at least one of them or something like that. Because
also, I wouldn't want to do something that I
magic.
know that would be susceptible to laughing fever either.
Like so there's all you know is just your first intrusive thought is that there's no way that in his current state his organs are going to work. It's not going to work. They're not compatible. Humans could work if it is a smaller human. Halflings absolutely could work. There are also some other types of animals that could work. We know that pig anatomy is quite similar to humanoids, as well as canine anatomy. It's possible, especially for a smaller race like halflings. They have smaller organs, and those things have smaller organs too. But there are many others. It's possible there could be some transplants. It's going to take. You're also going to need facilities, and it's going to take you to possibly being like doing autopsies and opening things up, or it's the fresher it is, the better. Meaning somebody who's alive, you can keep alive through the surgery, is going to be your best bet. But it's not without its risks, as of course most surgery is also not without its risks.
Right, and to replace one, I mean, it would be the death of that creature. Absolutely.
It is not. That's actually not necessarily true.
Don't you need lungs though?
So, but here's the deal, because you have seen other anima jinn far more skilled than you be able to regenerate material of organs as long as there is part, kind of like how your liver, if there's a part of your liver, it can kind of regenerate and become like a whole organ. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure that's how
the liver.
can,
but
like,
other
take
organs, no.
a piece out. Yeah, but
yet.
through magic and anima jinn, you can do things like higher level magics like regeneration and actually cause a new whole lung to grow, or like other types of things. So all you really need is some sort of a sample or like one whole piece of it. You've seen people take just one ventricle of heart and put it in somebody and use magic to cause it to replicate itself and regenerate in order to turn that one piece of a heart into two full hearts through magic and anima jinn and work. And it's difficult. It's some high level shit, and these are the experts in their field that are the greatest anima jinns ever, but it's possible. It doesn't necessarily mean that the other creature would die. It is also possible through anima jinn magic to make it so that a body can adapt, kind of like how a body can work off of one kidney. Through anima jinn magic, it is common for things to work off of one lung, name another part of the anatomy that you have two of that I'm not two hemispheres of the brain, that's different, but like a one less ventricle of like the heart. It's possible to do so. Obviously it still affects the body in a way where it won't be able to do the things that it could possibly do before, but they're alive, which is something. The anima jinn have done that, especially because of how the Ma'itan are twins. They're always compatible with each other.
Right.
When there's a problem, the twin almost all the time is, without question, offers up any part of their body to their twin if it's necessary. And it's happened where there's like been one person with it's happened where one twin has just passed amazing gas and just shat out one of their kidneys.
Ramsey.
Was that Ramsey?
Yeah.
Such a groan.
What does he do it? Oh.
What a ham. Buddy.
Ramsey's like, don't take my lungs.
Wow.
Anyway, like you have seen parts where organs have been taken from one and not like cauterized, but cut off to the point where they need, usually their anatomy needs two of these things in order to function properly, but they just function at a lower rate and both are alive, which is something, it's a common surgery that does happen in the maw. Somewhat frequently too. Of course, they'll never be able to live the fullest of lives due to their limited now like capacity for air or whatever it is that they may
Right.
do. You only roll a 14, so like there are other things that animagens are allowed to do. You've been in surgical theaters and you've been able to see all this stuff, but there's much of animagen science and magia science that is beyond you.
Yeah.
At your current level. Granted, you're very skilled, but there's always somebody that's very better, and these are the best in the world at what they do.
Right. And yeah, I mean that's magic that I don't know, and I know that there's probably another animagen for miles and miles.
Right. Yes. Granted, you are in one of the nations that would possibly have a very skilled animagen there, because you're right next to them all. It's just across the pond, and that does happen, especially for people that would keep doctors and surgeons on retainer. Very rich people, people of high status. That is very possible. You know that does happen.
Yeah.
You also know it's possible for you to do this. Like you could do this by yourself. There's high risks, and there might be some learning along the way, but it is possible. There's a lot of factors here, so you just kind of have to start narrowing it down, and I'll tell you how much your chances increase if that's the way you want to go.
Okay. So, again, I'm going to relay this information to Nakano just as a sounding
Sure.
board, and knowing that probably the rest of the Grounder family is not ready to hear this just quite yet.
You don't want
Yeah.
to interrupt their smiley days right
Yeah,
now.
yeah. No. Oh, Mead, hey, you need a new lung,
Like, by the
Yeah.
way, we need to open you up.
Right. You're going to have a gnarly scar. It's going to be great. There could be some minimally invasive. No.
They should be into a gnarly scar on the.
Yeah, Mima would be. She'd be like, badge of honor.
Yeah, she already has quite a few scars.
Yeah.
So, what's another?
So, I don't know. There's those different things. I feel like we don't have enough time to try to contact anybody else. We could certainly try if you think it might be worthwhile. But besides normal races, I mean, could do something like this and pop out my fins. So like she could breathe underwater. We can get some gills. Give her something like that. That could be kind of fun. I feel like she might be a little into that. I don't know. Just because she's a badass.
Yeah. That
But-
sounds like a good idea. So who's gonna get this lung?
You hear the voice in the back of your mind again to you, Nakano, as it says, "It's your choice now," as it repeats.
I mean, we either have to find somebody that's willing to donate a whole lung, little biopsy, but then that's going to take more time to grow. Also, it's a little above my skill set currently for growing that. Or we just go grave robbing, corpse robbing. I don't know. I mean, the fresher the better.
The fresher. So we're gonna go hunting for a lung.
Yeah, we could. Either that or we, take it from like a pig or a dog.
Yeah. Maybe we could start there. Gotta
Okay.
be a pig around.
Seems better than a dog, you know?
Yeah.
There's- have a weird. I don't like that. Okay.
Sheila
At
looks
least
up
still
at
have a pig roast.
Don't worry,
I'm not-
Sheila.
Yeah, we're
Not-
not doing that.
you look at Sheila and you're like, that could work.
It
I
could.
know.
I know. I was thinking about Sheila, but that would be like my last resort.
Yeah, Sheila will definitely be last resort. It's. Hey. Oh.
Yeah, rough. Oof.
Yeah.
Yeah. How much longer does Sheila have to live, though?
Sheila she's a senior dog. She's a sheepdog, and she's about 10 years old. So
Yeah.
it depends on how well she's been eating, and how much exercise she gets, and a bunch of other factors. It's hard to tell, but she's a senior dog. She's getting long in the tooth.
Okay.
It doesn't seem like she's slowed down a whole lot, but I mean, that doesn't mean a whole lot.
Yeah.
went up the hill just fine.
Yeah.
Must have good lungs.
Yeah, I mean, her cardio. et
Probably,
cetera,
yeah.
is
Troy
fine.
walked her almost every day. Remember that? Yeah.
All right, last resort if we can't find a willing donor or piggy, you know.
Yeah.
The other part of this is I need to find someplace a little cleaner than this to do this in. And also, obviously, we need to tell, you know, Mima and Tammy, and I am definitely going to tell Nofret because he scared the crap out of me earlier a little bit. So we'll do that. But they can't do it right now. I mean, look at how happy they are.
But soon, right?
Yeah, I mean, maybe. I think still today. We can't wait too long. Definitely up for a midnight little roam with you if you want to go hunting for some lungs.
Yeah, why
Tonight?
not?
Okay, little lung
Sounds-
hunt.
It's like fun.
Yeah.
Classic
It'll be
lung
alright.
hunt.
Yeah. Again, I think if we go back to the battlefield sooner rather than later, that might be a good place to start. Maybe. Too. We'll see.
There's also quite a few, if you remember, quite a few corpses that were struck by lightning. That's how many of them died. And so that's
A lot of ice storm, though, right? Wasn't there an ice storm?
there was an
Keep 'em nice
ice
and
storm.
cold, fresh and cold.
Most of the ice of the storm, like the big chunks, were like pierced through bodies, like those
Gonna
big
miss
big old
lungs, you
icicles.
know.
But
I'm nice and
possibly,
cold.
yeah, it is cold over there right now. Yeah, it's possible.
Well,
It's also been overnight.
it's not overnight quite yet, I thought.
Yes,
but
I mean, you
okay.
guys fought it yesterday
Okay.
because you slept on
Was
the
that-
hill.
it was-
Remember?
Well, the hill was like
All day,
midday.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, you guys
It's been
slept
long enough,
since
yeah.
the battle, so it has been at the very least 8 hours.
Okay.
Which means, I mean, who knows if people have been cleaning up or whatever, or what the freed indentured have done, you know.
Right.
But it's possible. Is that where you want to go? It's still like, mid-evening.
I mean, after kind of tell the others why we're going, I wouldn't just bugger off with without saying why. So
How do you want to tell them in the silence bubble? You want to write it on a piece of paper and show everybody?
I mean, I can read lips, so.
That's true.
yeah.
Yeah.
You do know that. Then again, the scoop would then have to tell.
Right. Maybe just writing it on a piece of paper saying we found a solution. It's going to be challenging.
Who do you give the piece of paper to?
Mima, she's the patient.
Like a doctor should. You do exactly what the doctor should. You talk to the patient first. This is their decision. You tap her on the shoulder as you come over to her, and she turns around. She looks like she's like giggling, but not in like a laughing. Well, you don't know. You can't tell. You don't know if it's the fever or if she's just having a good time. As she turns around, she
Can't
like
hear it
smiles
either
and
way.
laughs at you because you can't hear it. And she looks at you, and she just like expectantly, and you reach out and you hand her a piece of paper, and she you see like this smile just like kind of flows, slowly becomes neutral in her face. She opens up, she looks at it, and her expression doesn't change. She closes the note, she puts it in her pocket, and she turns right back around and continues helping Brew.
Tap her on the shoulder and just
She just looks over her shoulder at you for just glances.
kind of thumbs up. Or
She turns around for a moment. She grabs your hand. And she just stares at you for a moment in your eyes and just kind of has this pursed lip smile. looks down for a moment and looks at Tamron, and then just taps you on the shoulder and slowly lets go of your hand.
Can I make an insight check on that? Because, like, I
Sure.
personally don't know what the fuck. I mean, like, I'd like to think I know, but 13.
You never had a mother. You had two fathers.
Well, I did when I was too young, though.
Yes. I don't think it's anything that you remember. You had a biological mother, but I don't think it's anything that you remember consciously. There's something that makes you feel the way that you did when Papa Micah gave you, or not, when Papa Micah did almost the same kind of notion of like tap you on the shoulder when you're like, hey, I gotta go. Like, you know, I gotta go do the thing that I need to go do. I need to see the world, whatever. I have to go out. I have to leave. And the whole parent doing their best to support you. But if it was up to them, they'd be like, no, fucking stay here. But they know they can't do that because that's not what they feel like they should do. So they just don't say anything. And they just kind of like slightly nod and purse their lips and tap you on the shoulder and say they love you. And then whatever decision you make is up to you.
Okay.
Kind of deal. It's you also, like, there's a sense, you didn't roll terribly well, but there's just a sense like, one, she's trying not to think about any of that stuff right now, for obvious reasons, and two, there's part of her that's kind of resigned to whatever's going to happen, it's going to happen. And if other people decide to change that in that a way, that's she's kind of done putting an insane amount of effort into it, as you've seen her before. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. With that, I'll mouth to a scoop and just say, we're going to head out, and we found a solution, but we need to go hunting for it. So.
As he's got like an incense stick in his mouth, and he's like,
hurry back quick. Just, you like, wave.
he's got like a lit candle in his hand, and his wax goes everywhere as he's still casting the ritual, and he's like, go.
Yeah. Okay. And just wave goodbye to you guys. And all right, let's go, Nakano. Let's do this.
Okay.
All right, so where are you guys going?
Back to the battlefield first.
Okay,
I
you want to
mean,
go to the construction site?
yeah. Might as
Going
well.
to the construction site.
I mean, that's what it was. It was like,
Now it's a deconstruction site.
Yeah.
Haha.
So you guys head over there. Go ahead.
So this is where all the bodies would be.
Yeah, the interior of the construction site, like that big ring of stones that had been starting to build up, and like the scaffolding of the beginnings of like a circular cylindrical tower, is here. You head over as you get closer, the ground becomes muddier and more like sloshy, as there's a lot of moisture around the area, and you do start to see the remnants of what is like. There's still some snow and sleet within the mud and the muck and the mortar of the construction site, and the gravel and the sand that is around, because it's quite cold today. I mean, it is a colder day. You guys are in the middle of winter, technically, not quite the official beginning of winter, but it's winter for all intents and purposes. So it's around 40 degrees outside right now. So the snow is there's still some remnants of it there. you guys head over as you finally pass through one of the arches that would have been a doorway. There are a few people that are here. It looks like there are several indentured looting the bodies. And I don't want to say looting as much as just reclaiming the shit that was probably most likely stolen from them, and or just taking the just desserts that they deserved from being pretty much enforced labor. And they're like, well, no, I'm going to take this money because this is what I'm owed, and I'm going to take this cloak, and I'm going to take this. So they do, a couple of them that notice you do give you a quick sideways glance and do kind of stop what they're doing and stare at you as you guys begin to walk in and just kind of freeze for a moment. Not sure what your deal is.
Yeah. Fuck them, get your shit back. It's fine, guys.
They just nod at each other and they keep doing what they're doing. Yeah. There are not as many bodies here as Cameron. I can hear an echo from you. There are not as many bodies from here that you remember falling during the battle because it's been quite a few hours since that happened, and things move quickly. You do see some drag marks through the mud of things being moved throughout. Nakano, you notice actually both of you, because both of you have pretty decent perception, you notice through one of the walls that isn't completely finished, where the drag marks go, there looks to be some sort of pile that has some steam coming off of it. It looks like some bodies were burned during either the morning today or last night, and there's kind of just a charred pile of quite a few bodies, perhaps a handful to a dozen, you're not sure. The ones that remain that are still being looted are there. There is some sleet. Yeah, I'm still getting an echo from you, but there is some sleet around. I would say there's probably, as far as you can tell, maybe 5 bodies here.
Okay.
Kind of strewn about the area. Some face down, some on their side. There's one that's like completely missing an arm. One that has char, just and like a bunch of the attire that they were wearing was burnt from probably a lightning strike.
Okay. Well, if you can help me kind of dig through these, I know you're really good at finding stuff. But I think anybody that looks like they got hit by the lightning bolts may not have been a good candidate for transplants. I'm just gonna
Probably
say that.
not.
Yeah. So.
All right,
Okay.
let's
Crispy.
not too many to look through.
No, but can't hurt.
All right. So we'll look through each body, see which one we think, if any,
Yeah. Which one is coldest and
cold and
preserved in the right size? You know.
yeah.
Okay, so why don't you do me a favor? Roll between the two of you. Someone roll an investigation and someone roll a medicine check.
I'll do investigation.
I'll do medicine.
24.
Jesus.
15.
15 medicine. Okay. Nakano, you're able, among the 5 bodies, you're able to spot 2 that look not annihilated. Like it doesn't look like they were struck by lightning bolts is what I mean, because the lightning bolts were like, that's pretty devastating, and it can like tear a body apart and like do some crazy shit. I mean, not that I know anything about what I'm talking about, but 2 of them look like it's in recognizable condition.
Okay.
One is a half-elven individual. The other is a gnomish individual. They're both female. One has been entirely looted and is almost nude in like the mud and slate. The other, which is the half-elven individual, the gnome currently has someone that is like flipping it over and being really not careful with the body because they're just trying to find whatever they can. They're tearing the cloak off of it and like leaving abrasions and trying to like cover themselves with the cloak in order to stay warm. And those are the two things you notice. With the medicine check, as Nakano was able to point that out to you, at first glance, with that medicine check, it's possible, maybe.
Okay.
It'll take more. It'll take like medically examining these with a little bit more gusto, with some instruments in order to decide whether that's something that's even, especially to decide as far as you can tell, rigor mortis has not quite set in, or at least has been delayed. But it's going to take, you need to bring these to a location that it will require you to investigate them more proper.
Okay. Well, maybe either one could work. We need to find some place. Maybe we can, I don't know, take the cloak off of that burnt one and just kind of create
Cover.
a sledge or something. Cover and
Cover.
also, yeah, I mean,
So neither of them have cloaks now because the half-elven one is basically completely stripped bare, and the gnome one is being picked over right now, and the cloak is being taken off. And
is
they're
there
putting the
another?
cloak on.
I was intending like another one that
Sure.
was completely burnt.
All
you
the other
know.
ones are being picked over right now. Are you trying to scavenge, like push somebody out of the way and take?
I'm
the
just
shit
trying to
that they're
find something to
take?
carry these
Sure.
guys. It's
I mean, that's up to you.
these
There's a bunch of
ladies.
construction equipment here. There's like a wheelbarrow.
All right, let's bring out your dead. Let's pop them in here and take the wheelbarrow and I mean, I guess we should ask somebody here if they recognize these guys, and we can find out if there's any next of kin here. We can, I don't know. It's a long shot.
I'm gonna save you some time. It's highly unlikely. These are mercenaries that were sent from afar.
Okay.
Most of them. Some of them could have been recruited locally, but just given even their apparent lineage, it's highly unlikely that you're going to find anybody that knows anything about these people, other than perhaps the captain, if he's still alive, that was left under the dock.
Don't feel bad about that. He was such a dick. All right, so we're gonna pop these bodies in the wheelbarrow. I guess we could go try to find some place to set up shop. I also need a new scalpel. Do we think maybe a blacksmith might be open still? I don't know. I try to find something that's a very thin little knife.
Yeah.
Unless you've got one like tucked away somewhere.
I could go look for one.
Okay. Well, I'm
Yeah.
definitely coming with you still.
Yeah.
Because like we're, and I
Yeah.
guess we're coming with you still. So
Yeah.
All right. Here we go. And just go look for a blacksmith
Looking for
and just a facility, so that we can take a closer look at these bodies.
Yeah, I mean, there's a blacksmith in town. You want to take them like to the forge part of the blacksmith, just because they have things like pliers and tools and those types of things.
It was more so I have to get a scalpel anyway at some point.
Oh yeah, sure.
Because I threw mine at said dick captain.
Yeah, I mean, you can try to see if you can find it in the mud, but it might take a while.
Yeah, no, it's yeah,
Sure.
I just need at least something for.
So you're trying to collect both of these bodies.
Yeah, we're
Okay.
gonna try to put them in the wheelbarrow.
The dogs are playing with the bone upstairs, and it's noisy. Okay, I'm just gonna turn this on because it's really noisy. So
ASMR.
yeah, I know, right? Yeah, all the looting is making a lot of noise.
It's-
So
Oh yeah.
Sound like rummaging.
one of the bodies is currently being looted. That's like, you understand that might be like you're trying to go like, no, this body's mine. Like, well, here's the deal. You go to collect that body. This person's looting them, and they kind of get defensive around the body.
Do you want? You can have all the shit on them. I don't care about that. Do you want all this?
No.
Yeah, all right. I mean, I'm gonna take whatever I can.
Yeah.
Maybe a finger. I could probably sell that around there. Maybe an arm. It's got a good tattoo. I might flay that off.
Are people actually collecting the tattoos?
Fuck if I know, but they deserve it. Couldn't get the rings off of the fingers because the knuckles are all so swollen, so I thought I might just snip them right off.
I see.
Yeah.
But it was
It's
a
one way.
cannibal.
Yeah, it's one way to get it.
Then I was gonna throw the body on the fire. Why? Why are you? What do you want? I claimed it first. It's mine.
Oh, just a science experiment. But what you?
I'll save you the trouble. Flesh burns.
Yeah, no, I'm very well aware. There's something else. It's a little like I don't know. But we can. What?
Oh,
if
you don't know?
take- That's
Little
the point.
high
That's
what?
the experiment. That's the experiment. So what if? Okay, you can take. Do you want the rings and stuff on it? Go ahead, take it.
Great. They take a dagger and they just slice off one
Where'd
of the
you
pinkies
get the dagger? It's really
from
it's a
another
nice-
body. It doesn't matter.
Oh,
Why are you so curious?
Because
I mean, I saw what you did. Great, thank you. But
I was just
this
trying.
fucker hit me pretty hard, so this is mine.
I mean that's fair. I was noticing the craftsmanship on the dagger, and so I just wanted to know where to get it and get something like it. That's all.
Well, it's mine. You can't have it.
No, that's fine. That's fine. I thought it was a local blacksmith. That's all.
No.
All right.
Why are you still here?
I'm waiting for you to be done with the things on the body because I need the body otherwise.
You want this body after I'm done with it. What do you know about it that I don't? They flip it over as something up the ass. They start to part the cheeks.
No butt plugs. This,
Did you put something in here?
No,
You hide. You know what's in here? Something, some sort of piercing somewhere.
no. I can help you look for one if you want. I just
Here, right. You stay away. You stay back.
how
Last time I'm getting let somebody get anywhere near me,
what do you want?
especially not armed like you are.
Well, what do you want exactly? It's fair.
I want the last 5 years of my life back.
That I can't give you.
Well, then I'm going to take everything I can. That means I'm going to take their heart, and I'll take their heart. I don't care if it doesn't mean anything to me. It'll make me feel better.
Why don't you take the tattoo? You can flay that. I do need the rest of it. It could save somebody in town. Okay? So,
With a body?
I told you, it's very high magic kind of stuff.
It's all high magic, is it?
It's weird. It's weird.
Yeah. Okay. And as they just start sawing at the wrist and trying to pull the hand out. Yeah, super high magic little girl right here, just trying to tell me, well, big deals. All the tendons and the muscle that's just snapping, and you can hear the bone just scraping against the thing. It's pretty gruesome.
If you, I'm not gonna do that.
This has gone too far.
Yeah, no, it's too much.
They
do
take the hand and they toss it at you. Yeah,
I think
it's
I'm
there.
good.
There's a pinky missing.
I don't need the hand. Thank you. I do need a hand, but I don't need that hand. Look, I need the body. I'm willing to pay you a little bit of money for it, but I don't want to cause trouble. I'm just trying to help somebody. Okay.
Roll a persuasion check.
Hey, Tammy's there in spirit a little bit. 13?
13.
No, excuse me, 18. That wasn't 18.
18. Okay, much better.
Yeah.
They look at you. They kind of look you up and down. They look at Nakano, who for some reason is has her hand over her mouth and is a little queasy, even though she's a maiden of death.
I mean, he's throwing hands at her. I mean,
Yeah,
come on.
hands are tough. Hands are tough.
Bro,
Yeah.
you've murdered.
Tossing hands around
Nakano
here.
has beheaded so many people. What are you guys talking about?
No, hands are
The
different.
casualness with which he's throwing
are
hands
different.
around. It's crazy.
Hands are different.
He's reckless. He just wants to get in a fight with everybody. He's throwing
Yeah,
hands.
exactly.
Literally throwing hands.
Literally throwing hands. Nakano's like turned around and be like, you just let me know when you're done. And the kind of like finally the dude who's like appears to be a like a driver tell a mixture between like a three-quarterling, so a halfling and a human, like one of those. So it's like, you know, not quite this small stature of a halfling, but definitely older and not as tall as what a human would be of that thing. Granted, that's difficult to tell, but that's what they seem to be. They kind of stand up from their hunts position that they were doing all this gruesome work and and looting this body, and they grab the bag, the satchel, or around the belt. They just grab the whole belt and unhook it and just pull it all out and grab a bunch of the bags and put the belt on. They're like, I was done with this one anyway. Just make sure you don't give him a proper burial, all right?
Oh, no.
And they spit on the body and walk away.
All right, that was fun. Their
Nice
technique was
job.
their technique was terrible, but you know, here, can you help me?
Yeah,
get-
no, it's rough.
Yeah.
yeah.
It is nasty.
All right, can you help me?
Yeah.
All right, 1, 2, 3. Whoop. Great. All
You
right.
throw that in the wheelbarrow. You're able to get the other half-elf one. It's fully looted. There's quite a few abrasions and bruises throughout. But as you can tell, as you're handling the bodies, again, rigor mortis doesn't look like it's set in quite yet. But
That's good.
you're about to head to a blacksmith, which could have a lit forge, and that could, you know, they do seem rigid in a sense, but not. You don't think it's rigor mortis because they're quite cold. They're quite cold.
We would keep the wheelbarrow away from the forge.
Okay, cool. You guys want it? You can go to the local blacksmith easily. Tamara absolutely would have been able to tell you where it was. It does appear to be dark and not lit at the moment. Remember, a lot of the people were
Right.
partially evacuated and come back, and a lot of shit just went down. So there's not a whole lot of commerce that's going on right now, but there is an attached house to the blacksmith, like a home.
Okay. I take my cloak and I just put it over the bodies to make it look like
Sure, that you're not just wheelbarrowing bodies through the town.
you know, just
Sure.
a little bit. I
The one that's constantly bleeding through its wrist. It just is a blood trail that's
well, would tuck
You could
the wrist
easily have- yeah,
under.
yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely,
Yeah. Okay. Do you want to go talk to these people, or do you want me, or do you want to stay with the cart?
I'm gonna stay with.
Okay, cool. I mean, it does go with your vibe.
Yeah.
You know, it's just yeah. So, okay.
Nakano decides to stay with the cart, and then the camera goes to Nakano's face as Nakano's face looks at the wheelbarrow, and the wheelbarrow has this of this, like some of the blood that's dripping over the side.
Do you need anything? As long as we're talking to a blacksmith, do you need any like other weapons or anything right now?
What do they got? Let's.
I mean, the blacksmith part, the actual like forge where there's the anvil and the forge and all the other tools, is more of kind of like an outdoor kitchen kind of setup where it has a top, but it's open on three sides because, for obvious reasons, because you know if it's inside it can get very, very hot. Often, especially in medieval times, there's like open blacksmith because it's you need that kind of ventilation and. So there are quite a few tools here, everything from short swords. There's a bunch of weapons here. Pretty much everything that you would be able to find in the weapons table is here, with the exception of some of the more very expensive ones. There's also like pliers, bellows, anything you would find in a blacksmith. There's a lot of tools here. Yeah, hammers, everything. A quenching bucket, the whole thing. There appear to be a couple molds that are on a rack and some shelvings.
Do we need anything to transfer this long?
I mean, other than the scalpel, let's see, that the blacksmith would have. Anything else come to mind that?
I mean, there is a good amount of table space here. If you wanted to, like, that would be large enough to put a humanoid body on, if that's what you mean. There is a vise here that could possibly be used as a rib spreader.
That could, because it's going to be a little challenging.
There are some strong, kind of like branch trimmers, that type of thing, like those type of big old clippers that are meant to snip the ends of metal off when you
Little
make
saw?
molds. Not like saws. Like,
No. Is there a little saw?
yeah,
Something?
yeah. No, there's a handsaw. Yeah.
Okay, I think that might be a little bit
There's-
better.
I mean, it's a fully stocked workshop.
All right.
So there's a ton of stuff here.
Sorry.
The
Sorry for
more-
all you squeamish folks out there.
You're fine.
I'm squeamish right now. My chest is like hurting.
Poor Angela,
sorry.
because Nakano is like, I'm the maiden of death, everything, and Angela's like, oh, blood. So that's the thing. Like, I would say when it comes to more the finer, this is all like more larger type of stuff.
Yeah.
When it comes to more of the fine scalpel type of equipment, not as much of that is here. The things that you do see are tiny chisels. That's like the best of this type of thing for engravings in the pommels of swords and stuff like that.
I mean,
And for like fine detail filigree on type of things. But again, this isn't a masterwork forge. That stuff isn't like super fine. But
Yeah.
that's what's there.
all right. Well, I can get maybe a little saw, one of the chisels, because that could be a nice little. Oh, maybe a little awl.
Are you just like grabbing this person's stuff?
No. I'd be knocking on the door and asking them. For,
Okay, right, that's what you're doing.
And maybe we just get a couple daggers so it doesn't look like we're being weird and getting random tools.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Here we go. Try to be like Tammy. Okay. Here we go. Just I try to be charismatic as I possibly can, but we'll see.
So you knock on the door.
Good evening. Anybody home? I'd love to make a purchase with you all, if possible.
You hear a from behind the door and just some creaking of the wood as you hear as the door opens just partially, like, well, what can I do for you?
Well, would you be?
It's like a kind of portly man with a cook's apron on, like a white apron that has a bunch of stains on it. They look like fresh stains from like tomato juice and guacamole or like pea soup and other types of things. Maybe some yeast and some flour there too. They look a little sweaty as they take a handkerchief out of one of the pockets and tap their forehead.
Well, I'm so sorry to trouble you so late, but
Oh, it's no problem at all. It's just thought I might use a different type of heat for like my belly.
there you go. Yeah.
Oh, I miss my son.
Well, I can't help you with that, but I can help you with maybe getting more bread because it looks like you're breaking a little bit, right? So maybe
Yeah, you want some bread? You want you to come in? It'd be great to have somebody to talk to. I miss my son.
maybe for a little bit.
Oh,
my
no, he's
friend-
not dead. He's just traveling.
Would it be all right if we talked out here for a little bit as we look over? some of the things
Sure. I
that you
mean,
have?
his chair's looking awfully lonely, but that's totally fine. Yeah, sure.
It's all right. I'm sure he's doing lots of really important things. So
Oh, yeah, no, he's a courier. He's doing a great job.
Oh,
He's
that's
making sure that stuff's
amazing.
going from right places to where it needs to go. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
doing a great job. Yeah.
That's
I miss
really
him.
good.
I sure miss him though, but yeah.
I'm sure I'm sure he'll write.
He
home
has my
soon.
support, though. I just make sure I only cry once per day. So.
Oh no, you should cry however much you feel like. I mean, but it's good that you're supportive of him. That's awesome.
Oh yeah. Well, you gotta be a parent. You gotta do what your job. Make sure number one rule is support. Speaking of support, how can I support you on this fine day? 1 second, please. And you just see that the door. He just lets the door swing right open as he kind of just like waddles down the hallway into, you guess, is the kitchen. As you hear, "Ooh, that's hot," and some pans clattering. It's like, "Oh, almost lost it. It was almost burnt. I've been working on the recipe so for the next time he comes, so I could get it just perfect to make a little turtle donuts."
Oh,
Yeah.
You know who you should talk to? My friend, the Scoop. He's a great baker. I can get you.
Oh,
give you
yeah,
maybe
it'd
a
be
couple
great.
tips.
Maybe.
We
Oh,
can
that
come
would
by
be
tomorrow. Maybe we can talk a little bit.
Fantastic. Oh, yeasty beasty. That would be absolutely fantastic.
We found
Yes.
a Canadian, y'all.
So
This
I-
dude's just a human, by the way. He's just chilling out.
Okay.
He is a little bit of a darker skin tone, portly, kind of like a beer belly. There is some stitching on the apron that says "Kiss the Cook," but it only has one S, and it's more of like those jagged, sharp edge S's that you would do when drawing when you were bored in high school or like middle school. Those type of like S weird things, and. It's the stitching is very bad. It's very thin. Some pieces are falling off, and it looks like it might have been something that his kid made when he was little, and he's still wearing it, even though it's like it's very, very worn.
oh.
Would you like it? Would you like a turtle donut?
I mean,
Comes waddling down and go like, "Here you go. It's nice and hot. Ooh, it's very hot. Ooh.
okay. All right. This
Okay,
is very
Here
hot.
you go. Yes. And it's. Oh, we lost you, Noel.
Left. She didn't want to be bothered with
Yes,
this
you don't
guy.
want to talk about this anymore.
It's so hot. I can't handle it. Okay.
So yeah,
thank
he
you.
gives you this like he's like, ooh. It's hot, and then it's kind of looks like a turtle. Like the cross hatching that would show like the hexagons on the back turtle back isn't there yet.
Yeah.
But there's just this big like bun browned. It looks like it had covered in egg and was cooked to give it that kind of challah bread type of sheen to it, and like two little other small balls of dough that were attached to the edges, and then one that's like a head with two chives on the edge of it to make it look like eyes. And he was like, "It's good. I used a black bean and red bean paste to fill it up with."
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
I hope it's good. I might have used too much umami. But,
I'm sure it's good. I know my friend Sharif would have really liked this.
oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure. Yeah, I really hope everybody likes it,
Well,
especially my son.
I will give you an honest review after it cools down a little bit. I don't want to burn my mouth.
Oh, of course. Oh,
But I'd love
Yes?
my friend and I would love to buy some tools from
Oh!
you and some things if possible.
indubitably. Let me just warm up the forge and cool down the oven.
Wait, but just they're pre-made already. Is that?
Oh,
I
okay.
could see just
Sure.
Yeah.
Let me just switch aprons real quick.
Oh,
And he takes
absolutely.
off his cloth apron, hangs it up on the like the coat rack that's there. Takes the leather apron off and puts it on and straps it around him. And you see all like the scorch marks, and everything. Takes these big old leather gloves. He's going on like, "All right, so what is it you need?"
I get it. You've got to act professional. All right.
Yeah, I gotta make sure that people know that they're buying hardy steel from a hardy individual. And he taps his beer belly twice.
Continue to blow off the little turtle donut.
Oh, we're in that little cute. I mean, well, you might want to, make sure that doesn't get smushed in the places where there's a lot of hammers.
Of course. Do you? So, so
I love my son.
I know. Okay, it's almost cool enough for me to try a little bit, and the kind of she can try some too. Do you? All right. I need the tiniest knife that you've got, probably like little delicate.
Oh, you need like a stiletto dagger. Is that a special
Sure.
order? Maybe emblazoned with some jewels or a nice filigree?
Just as plain Jane as you can get. Even the one off the shelf would be
Let's
kind of
see
great.
what I
you
got
know?
as he closes the door behind him and walks out and takes like there's like oil on the leather because it's leather and you need to keep it well oiled, and he takes some of the oil and it kind of greases his hair as he slicks it back. He's like, let's see what I got, and rather than waddling, he just goes like womp 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 womp, kind of like plods over to the thing, and he sees that there's a wheelbarrow covered in a red like piece of tapestry, cloak, or whatever it happens to be, which is dripping blood, which he knows. He's like, none of my business, as he goes behind the counter, and he's like, so you're looking for a really fine sharp, isn't that delicious?
It's
Isn't that
really
just
good.
delicious?
It's really
I mean,
good.
so you're looking for a really nice fine stiletto dagger. Let's see what I got. And he goes into it, and he opens one of these cabinets and pulls out a big old crate of just a bunch of daggers, and just and it clatters as it gets put down. Let's see, some of these I just make to try to, expert in my craft and get my chops all going. So let's see if we can find a nice little small one for you. Is this for your kid, for your son? That's why you want it to be nice and small?
It's
You gotta teach them young, they gotta know how to use a bladed weapon.
Yeah. No, I mean,
you gotta tell them how to,
It
it's
is-
really
it is
important.
definitely for-
I mean, yeah.
yeah, it's definitely for somebody littler than me. That's yeah. So I need to make sure it fits their hands and stuff. So
Okay, or so you're looking for one that could be used both forehand and backhand, and perhaps more of a precise between the index and middle.
yeah, definitely precision would be
Or
excellent. with
perhaps
it.
one without a hilt. Then you might be looking for a shiv.
If you have it available, and if the blade is very fine, then sure, we can do that. Otherwise,
He looks back and forth around him like, I've been asked for a shiv every once in a while, but shivs are some places they're not allowed to be made because certain unsavory characters like to use them. Can't say that I've made any myself recently,
I see. Well,
but I don't know. The weather up in the north can sometimes get warm in the autumn.
I know that this is supposed to be some sort of call sign, but I don't know it. But I am a good
That's
good
fine
dog.
because I honestly forgot what the response was going to
Okay,
be. So, it's totally cool.
cool.
So,
All right.
so you're good. You're good. Okay,
All right,
you're
all right,
cool.
cool.
Obviously, I mean, usually, if you were law enforcement, you wouldn't get that because they're all dumb.
Yeah,
okay,
no, they're
so
super
Did
dumb.
you know that they're actually not allowed to be law enforcement if they're too smart? Did you know that if they pass an IQ
That
test, they're
explains
not
a
allowed to be?
lot of
Yeah, 'cause they
people,
want to keep
yeah.
them dumb so they're easy to control. Anyway, so I got a couple shifts. What are you looking for? You want one that's hollow for poison?
No poison necessary. Just simple blade, but very precise. Fine would be great. Also, that's not the end of it. We need maybe the little your little anvil thing that can spread things, and just a little saw.
You would like an anvil?
Yes.
Then I mean,
Or not the anvil, but the vice grip.
oh, you want a vice?
Yeah, that'd be great if they're willing to
It
part with
might
one.
take me a day or two to make one for you.
Could I borrow one for a day? Just rent it out.
Maybe, as long as you promise to bring it back. I need that thing to make
Yeah.
sure that I keep my business going. Like it's really hard to nail a pommel in by yourself from red hot metal.
Of course. Tell you what, I'll leave a little bit of like a little collateral with you, as well as the rental price. Does
I
that sound good?
could be. You know what? You know what? There's something that my son told me. He said, when a stranger comes to your house and offers you a deal, if it seems somewhat amenable, don't dismiss it out of pocket. That's the courier saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He sounds like a fine young man.
Oh, he's rather wise.
Yeah.
Oh, I miss him so much. I'm sorry. Yeah. Yeah. I could probably lend it to you for you. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. You want a couple shivs? I could lend that to you. Need anything else?
Little as small of a saw as you have, and then
Like a handsaw,
a little handsaw would be
or
great.
like a whipping saw,
Oh no, just a little handsaw. Nothing bigger than like say this big.
or
for
like a
bait.
hacksaw.
Little tiny hacksaw. Yeah.
Got it. Yeah, I could get a little
Okay.
hacksaw right here. He hands you like a nice rusty one. That's okay. All right. Do you want a new one, or you just doesn't matter?
Do you have a newer one?
Yeah. I could have. It'll cost you a little bit more because I had to keep it. It's made out of steel rather than iron. Is that okay?
Oh, yeah. No, I think.
All right.
then
I've got
that's
a
fine.
nicer one, and it's like this one's a little bit more polished, and it has a wooden handle that has some burnout on it. Yeah, it was just again, gotta keep the chops open. Gotta keep them all nice and worked out. So.
Perfect. And then I think just some other. Nakano, you want the daggers, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, okay, cool.
Yeah.
We're looking for like murdering daggers or like some poison ones or hollow ones, or are you just looking for like, just to protect myself and then cut my meat later when I, have to cook?
Actually,
I mean,
let's
when
her
I
talk to
have
that.
to
Let
make
me.
a good gourmet meal.
I don't want to yell that across the way. Let me go get her and I'll send her over here. Yeah. 1 second.
All right, I'll be waiting
All right. And
right here.
all right. Okay. Go tell him what type of daggers you want. Also, try a little bit of this and say that it tastes really good. That's all. And tear off like one of the
Okay.
fins.
All right.
So you walk up, you
Yeah.
grab the turtle donut.
Got the
like bun.
donut. Throw me a dagger. Any dagger.
Throw a dagger at you. You want me to throw a dagger at you? Okay. Picks up a dagger, throws it at
And
you.
why
He's gonna roll an attack roll at you. Do you try to catch it?
Yeah, well, with the bun, with the thing,
Oh, you're trying to catch it in the
yeah.
bun?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, go ahead and roll a dexterity saving throw.
Nakano's being a badass even when
You walk up and you're like,
For-
"Hey, Vinny, throw a dagger at me."
Dexterity saving. Okay. 19.
19. Absolutely. You like fastest hand in the west. The dagger goes at you, and it looks like it's about to hit you in the face, and then there's just like this slight, just quick move, and then you slowly lift the turtle up from under the desk, and you see like the dagger in the desk. It's like, ho! Oh, that is mighty impressive. You sure are a fast-handed little lady, aren't you? Oh, man. Are you single? I could really, you know what? I bet my son
I
would
really gotta go.
absolutely-
This is perfect. Thank you.
well, I mean, you still got to pay for it. I mean, that was really impressive.
Yeah.
You do have to pay for it. Yeah, sorry. I mean,
Yeah,
it did
absolutely.
require me materials and work and really as much as like. But are you? I mean, like, are you like? I mean, it's just like I'm sorry. I'm just like I can't help it because he's such a fine young lad, and he would be so lucky to have someone like you, and especially he's not that strong. So it would be really great to have someone
Muscle mommy.
that knows how to. Yeah. It looks like you could handle yourself, and I always worry about him, especially moving around. There's so many bandits out there. It would be great to have. He's just gonna keep talking. He's just gonna keep
Well,
going.
it's really not my thing. That's not my.
Oh no, I
Don't do.
totally understand. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I know it's embarrassing. It's just you can't blame a dad for. I mean, you can't blame a
Well,
father
have a
for trying to
great
make
day.
sure.
Okay, so you've got that right.
So you just been like, I'm going away and back to the wheelbarrow.
All right, tag in, tag out. Let's go. All right, I guess I'll close up the deals on the prices. All right.
Oh, is there anything else I can get for you, fine adventure ladies?
I think this would be
You are
it.
very well armed and you are a little intimidating, but I find that would be. I just can't help to think that you would just be great. I'm sorry. She told me to stop, so I should stop.
Yeah, I think that's probably
Yeah,
best.
yeah,
But
yeah,
I think,
I'm just-
let's
I
just
just love him so
respecting-
much. I miss him so
Yeah,
much.
I
want him to
know,
be
I
safe.
know. Well, I think I appreciate you coming and talking to us. Good turtle donuts, wonderful. Again, maybe
Oh, thank
our
you so
friends.
much. I tried to get the red bean.
Right. How much for your
Sorry.
fine weaponry that everybody should be buying? I just Yellow.
Yes. How many of what do you want?
What do I want?
How many of what
Oh,
do
just
you want?
just the one dagger that she.
How many shivs? Do you want any hollow ones?
Shivs. No hollow ones. Well, no, I will take one hollow one. I take that back. I'll take one
I'm
hollow
running
one.
a 5 for 4 deal.
Can I see one of these shivs before?
Sure, absolutely.
Okay.
Oh, hey, look, there it is. See, I'm a little fast, too. It was super obvious. He's trying real hard. He was trying to do the impressive thing that Nakano was, and you could just absolutely see him, like, slide it up and just put it into his hand and then be like, oh, look at that. Palmed it there for you. Hey. There you go, yeah. Sorry, I'm just trying to be, anyway, it doesn't matter.
Does it look like these would do the job that I need them to do?
They're very sharp.
Okay.
They're not like razor sharp like a scalpel would be, but they are.
But I could
very
sharpen
sharp.
them probably. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you would know how to do so. Yes, because you have to keep your tools in good condition. So, yeah, you would be able to do so. The edge on this is fine enough that you could be able to make it sharper.
Okay.
It is a double-sided shiv, meaning that it would be on both sides. It does have a long leather-bound. What appears to be a hardened wooden handle, so it's very, very sturdy. This is fine craftsmanship. He does a good job.
Yeah.
And he has like a big old basket of these things. There are one or two of them that do look a little bloodstained, like they have been used and then replaced, and he hasn't cleaned
We'll
them.
sanitize it. It's fine. Whatever.
Not the ones that he gives you. Just note in the box there.
Oh,
appear to
okay.
be one or two that are like that. Almost like he may possibly melt down used ones so that they can't be traced back to what they were used for.
Right.
He appears to be, as you've kind of realized, possibly a contact or work possibly on the side with maybe some Nox Extra.
Yeah.
But nothing too uncouth other than just being, you get a shiv here every once in a while and I'll just melt this thing down. And
Yeah.
he gets a little bit of money on the side so he can afford things like flour and red bean paste.
Okay. I mean, okay. If you're doing the 5 for 4 deal and
I'll throw in a hollow one for you too.
Oh, that'd be fabulous. Okay.
Yeah, well, I mean, you guys can obviously use them a lot better than I can.
And then as far as renting the device.
You know what? That's fine. You've already proved that you're excellent at what you do. You seem rather trustworthy individuals. That's totally okay. Just make sure I get it back before the end of the day. That's all right.
Oh, yeah. End of day
it's
tomorrow,
actually-
right?
Yeah, the end of the day
Okay, just
tomorrow. 'Cause I
making sure.
realize that the sun's no longer in the sky, so it's getting a little chilly, a little cold around here.
Yeah.
So
Okay. Do that, and then the little saw, and then, of course, the blade that she
handsaw.
chose.
I'd say perhaps 2 gold, 6 silver for the bundle.
All right. If I... Okay. I will go ahead and...
And that is no questions asked.
Wonderful. Okay. I'll go ahead and
You got it.
give you that. And buy those things. I just have a little bit
Sure.
of gold on me. Everything else is party fund and...
Absolutely. Well, it was a pleasure doing business with you. You let me know if there's anything else that you need, whether it be baked goods or anything like that. Too. I'm trying to get that little shop up and going because it may be running out the back, but or any type of if you're looking to do some damage or protect yourself, you just let me know.
But you could, on the side note, Blades and Buns could be a really fun kind of name for it, you know?
What a fantastic idea! Blades and buns.
Blades and Buns.
And I can sell the blades. I
Not
can
in the
use them as skewers to
Yeah.
put a bunch of the buns on and serve them like that. And if you pay extra, you get to keep the skewer blade. What
That
a
would be
great
cool. You could
idea.
do, like-
I got to write this down. I can't wait to write a letter to my son about this. He's going to love
He's
it.
he's gonna be so excited.
Oh, he's going to great. And he loves receiving letters. You know, he's a courier and all that. So
Yeah.
he loves receiving letters. Oh, he loves letters.
Well, again, thank you for your wonderful blades and things and very manly things, and thank you for the bun.
You're very welcome, fine customer. He doesn't have a hat. He just does the movement. And then he grabs a handkerchief and is like, well, I better get back to it. There's a lot of work to be done, and I'm sure it's getting a little late for business to be happening because we don't want to be any of those unsavory characters that does business after dark.
No.
As he closes the door.
All right, let's get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Did we get that guy's name?
No.
Nope.
That's fine.
Because Misheni is still not as charismatic as Tammy. It's just like, whatever.
So
That guy
after
was
that,
ridiculous.
we're going to. But okay, so you guys got all of your stuff, your supplies. You have your wheelbarrow, all that jazz, and
Probably.
Where are you headed?
Do you want to go back to the grounder?
Yeah.
estate?
With
All right.
bodies? Sure.
Yeah, we'll just go into the
Okay.
garden.
You guys head into the grounder's estate.
Tuck them back
The garden
in,
is
you know.
the actual garden that they have is like farther to the tree line and near the forest. They have like a backyard, tiny little vegetable garden, like it's tiny.
Yeah.
It's like an herb garden.
I think going back to the garden, though, with a wheelbarrow, like the bigger garden.
You go into the
makes more-
estate or the bigger garden, the home, or the separate big garden near the street.
The separate big garden would make more sense for the wheelbarrow, unless you
Okay,
want
so-
to do something else, Angela, because like I feel
Okay,
like
there's just like not a table there for you to do anything with the bodies, if that's what you mean.
I just wanted to look the least suspicious with
The body.
Where are you going with the wheelbarrow of bodies?
the big garden,
Okay.
so that with the wheelbarrow it's not suspicious, and then we can go get like some boards or something and bring them up to the.
You can easily like wrap some of these things up in the cloak and you can wrap the big body up in the cloak and make it look like a rug that you're
Okay.
carrying over your shoulder, and you could stuff the smaller gnome body into one of your bags
Yep.
if you
Yep,
want to. I
yep.
mean, like that would be I can't really think of any other I know it's uncouth and a little gruesome, but that's kind of the best way I could think of you be able to do that. But yeah, you can drop off the wheelbarrow and just like make it look like you're have a sack of
Yeah.
potatoes in a rug.
Yep.
As you
We're
head
good.
over to the grounder estate and you walk in, the rug is kind of still dripping a little bit of blood. As Scoop, you with your high passive perception notice that there is a bleeding rug that Nakano walks in with. And you just kind of raise your eyebrows and look at her like that. As the other two don't seem to notice. Are you trying to prevent Tammy and the rest of the family from seeing that there's a bleeding rug rocking into the home?
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. Okay, cool.
No,
So-
I'm just yeah. I mean the cat's
Guys,
gonna be out of the bag real
you
quick
guys
anyway.
walk
So
in, Misheni like comes in after you, Nakano, and you close the door and you turn around and you look at a Scoop with the bleeding rug and you just make eye contact. And you creep further into the room. And that is where we're going to take our break. We'll be back in a little bit, guys. Stay tuned. Stay safe out there. And don't go away. Bye. Hello and welcome back. Last we left off, there were bodies in a wheelbarrow brought to the grounder estate. And the Scoop had no intention of trying to make it hidden from anybody else, as blood was tracked into the mudroom and the living room of the grounder estate while
I don't know what's going
meat
on.
was being made.
just a couple drips. it's
Blood
fine.
what?
And so at the moment, Nakano is making eye contact with a Scoop. And while she has like a rolled rug that is obviously not just a rug, that's dripping blood onto the floor. She just kind of like froze, a little hunched over and staring at a Scoop, and Scoop is staring back at her. What do you guys do?
I think like we're gonna fight.
You gonna fight me?
No.
So a Scoop is silenced. You can't hear Scoop. I think Nakano's like outside of the bubble.
We're all
I think
silent,
Nakano's
right?
Well, I think Nakano is outside of the bubble because she's far enough away. But I don't think a Scoop could Well,
I did
I'm not
tell
sure
a
how the
Scoop
spell
that
would
we
work.
were going hunting for something. So,
Right.
like, this isn't too weird. Hopefully. Maybe it's still a little weird, but
We'll see. So a Scoop like does a like a mean mug fake, and like as if he was gonna fight you, Nakano.
Do you want to end up in this bag too?
No.
She words it. Do you want to end up in this bag?
Nakano is. I'm so scared of Nakano in real life.
Nakano is terrifying. If I saw Nakano anywhere, because she's so quiet, if Nakano just ended up somewhere where I could see, I'd be like, nope, 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 and I'd leave the country.
No, I'd be like, yes, ma'am. And
I
just
would be
do whatever
I'd be,
she said.
Yeah, you know, it's
because,
kind of
you know,
creepy hot, right? It's kind of
Yeah,
creepy
yeah.
hot. It's kind of like Nakano like, I'll do whatever you want me to do, but please don't kill me. But kind of like maybe pretend to kill me because it's kind of like interesting and I'm kind of into it. Like, yes, muscle mommy. Yes, spider mommy. Whatever you want. Yes, ma'am.
Oh my god.
I don't know what it was like. Apparently, I have a crush on your character, Angela.
Yeah. I
Who
kind of
doesn't?
did too.
I mean, she's pretty fucking cool.
We have
you know?
to get you a Nakano costume.
I
I saw
know.
Yeah,
that
for
there were
real.
these like spider limbs at like Spirit of Halloween recently that you can like put on. It's kind of like a corset that has spider limbs attached to it, and they sit
Oh,
up.
cool.
And we should absolutely get you some like that. Oh, it'd be so cool.
It'd
Would
be
you be interested
super-
in like cosplaying as Nakano ever?
So I'm not in this
Yeah.
bubble at all. Just saying, I can't be in the bubble because it's verbal.
right,
Oh, right.
right. So you're. That's true. You just have to be able to see where you're casting it. Yeah,
Yep.
whatever you want to do. Yeah, you could just be near the door. You're like at the door. The door opens. You are like 3 feet from each
Little
other, just
door
staring at
gremlin.
each other as blood drips on the ground. And so Scoop does that one like deep, like that faint mean mug. And then Nakano just like, do you want to fucking end up in this rug? Machete, you turn around and you see both of them just like you're not sure if they're about to fight or fuck. You don't know what's happening. Like
I
it's
know.
weird.
I feel like it's more fuck.
No, no.
You're not nor fight. Sorry, not fuck. Not fuck. Not fuck. Because I'm like, no. I
No,
know.
I mean,
said
you
it.
know, a Scoop like
Didn't
doesn't
know.
do that type. He's not into like any like sexual type of stuff. That type of
Yeah,
thing.
exactly.
But like it just you're very like unsure about the
I'm
energy
unsure, but I
that's happening
continue
right now.
moving. I'm just like,
It's very
you
confusing.
guys go do your own thing.
Like because you see
Okay.
this happening,
Yeah.
and then you look and see like Tamara like
right, and having a good
with his
time
mom and
with
his
mom
dad,
and
like,
just,
da,
you
da,
know,
da, da, da,
groom-
and super
groom me.
wholesome. And then there's like these people threatening to kill each other, like right next to each other, just getting.
But I'm like,
doing this move.
But I know that they're not actually going to do anything, so I'm like, all right. See
and
you
there's
guys
just gets
later.
more and more blood on the floor.
It's fine. We'll just dry that up. It's fine. You know, put the little baking soda on it.
The fucking scene just of you like, and you have a potato sack, like a sack of a body in it as you turn around and like drop your body onto the ground and
drop
and
the
see this-
bodies to the floor.
drop the bodies to the
I
floor.
love that.
Like there's definitely there's a moment where the camera like zooms in on Nakano's piercing eyes and then zooms in on the Scoop's piercing eyes, and they both get like slimmer and then just slowly fading in the background. Drop the bodies to the floor. Drop the bodies to the floor. Drop the bodies to the floor as the camera keeps going back and forth and back and forth. What do you guys do?
I
Don't
dropped the
worry
bo-
about Mima like dying. It's totally fine.
I dropped the body to the floor. You know,
yeah, you drop the body to the floor. What does
you do.
Nakano and his Scoop do?
Did you cover your tracks with all this blood?
I think we did.
Like, I think so. You like look out the small window through the door, and there's a bit of a blood trail down the stone walkway.
I wasn't doing anything. Were you doing anything to cover the blood trail?
You shrug.
What?
I thought that was pretty normal. I don't know. I could have had.
You
an
see
issue.
Sheila outside, like licking up the blood trail.
Oh, Sheila. No, well,
Girl. Good girl.
actually, you get it. You do that.
She like,
Whatever.
looks up.
Dogs are allowed to eat people. People aren't allowed to eat dogs, but dogs are allowed to eat people.
I actually would agree with that statement. I would actually totally agree with that statement. Hold on, we got some weird thing going on with the Discord. There we go. That fixed it. Yeah. I agree with that entirely. Yes, yes. If the owner dies and the dog is starving, yes, please eat my body. I will give it to you, hands down. No, go ahead. Apparently, I'm delicious, as we've discovered during the break.
No, apparently you think you're delicious.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. I've been eating myself every day. No. Go. No,
So
that sounded
weird.
wrong. Can we cut that? We have to cut that. I'm writing that down.
Yeah.
We're gonna do
Write
a
that
big
down to
old
cut,
cut.
please.
Cody,
the-
cut it.
No, Cody,
unfortunately,
please
the
cut.
editing machine is
I will
broken.
pay you if you cut
Can't-
this.
Cut it.
it's stating- Can't. It's broken, the machine.
Oh my god.
So anyway, Nakano, you make it into the home. Where are you guys putting these bodies?
Kitchen table.
Also, like, the clock is ticking on this shit, too.
I know. Yeah, kitchen table, some bigger area that we can clean off quickly. Anything?
You have the coffee table that had all of the paperwork on it, but
Coffee table would work for the gnome. not
there
for
is
the
a kitchen
half-elf.
runner that's extremely long because of how prolific
Excellent. So we put the
halflings are with their children.
So we put the elf on that, and we put the gnome on the coffee table. The coffee table.
So you
half
like,
elf on there.
shove all the papers off of the coffee table.
Well, I put them neatly in a stack.
Sure. You put them neatly in a stack. You take the time to put them neatly in a stack. You collate them and color code them.
Oh no, I would. They would
I'm
have been
just
color
fucking with you.
collated anyway.
You could do, yeah, they would have been color coded absolutely beforehand, absolutely. You keep them organized. You put them on one of the tables. You put the sack on, and you like pull it off like a body bag, and there's a dead gnome on the coffee table. In the adjacent room where there's the runner for the living room, Nakano, you unroll the tapestry, and the half elf individual is. Oh wait.
Yeah.
Yes. Is there. It doesn't matter. I don't really care if I mixed up. I think the gnome was the one that had the hand cut off,
I
but it
will
doesn't matter.
just start checking them to see what's going on as far as
Which one would you like to check
viability.
first?
Which one is colder?
Which one do you want to check their temperature first? Sorry.
I'll check the gnome first,
Okay.
just because that's the one that I carried to the coffee
Roll
table.
a. I'll say this is a senses thing. Roll a perception check.
Okay.
The scoop, you
18?
see them pull out bodies and throw them on tables. What'd you get? 17?
18.
18? It's quite cold. Gnome is quite cold.
What about the other gnome? Or the other?
Same. Go ahead. Roll one.
18 again.
18. Also, quite cold. You might
Is there
you
one-
think that there's the gnome may be slightly colder, most likely just because of surface area and volume and stuff like that.
Am I worried at all
Thermodynamics.
because the gnomes are typically smaller than halflings with as far as the lung capacity?
It kind of varies. Gnomes and halflings can both be. Oh, you left again. It's not necessarily true, that statement. It's just that gnomes and halflings, I mean, they all vary in kind of sizes. There are tall halflings, there are short gnomes, and there's everything
Sure.
in between. And this gnome just seems to be like, average gnome size. Nothing like, doesn't seem to be too small, if that's what you're kind of asking.
It's like would their lung capacity be compatible with Mima's? Like is
Possible.
Mima much
you
taller
won't know
than
until
this?
you actually get a look at their lungs. Yeah, unfortunately.
Okay.
Because, I mean, I would say their lungs, because they are a smaller race and they are a small creature rather than a medium creature, they probably have a chance of having lungs that would be closer to the size of a halfling's rather than the half elf. But I mean, they're both. The half elf is, a short woman. Like you won't know until you actually get to take a look at them. As far as you can tell, both could possibly compatible. You need more information.
Okay. Scoop, can you make a little bit of ice or something? Or like in something? I don't know, to keep something cold. We need to keep some meats cold. Why are you looking at me like that?
I'm thinking.
Okay, all right.
As he's still ritually casting silence.
I can, but I won't have silent though. Or silence.
Okay,
I gotta concentrate on this one or the other one.
okay. Maybe we can do it the old-fashioned way then. Or a little bit more the old-fashioned way. It is cold out. Still not that cold.
While you're thinking about this, Tammy, it is now time to start boiling the mash that you guys have been, which is, well, it's not mash, it's mead, right? So it's honey. So it's time to start adding the berries that you want it to taste like. There are a couple berries that you guys have access to, and your mother puts her hand on your shoulder, which is very, very difficult for her. She kind of pats at you to come down here so I can put my hand on your shoulder. And she puts your hand on your shoulder, and she's like, then she just gestures to some of the preserves that she has, and pick which one you want. What do you want the meat to taste like?
Well, it's good berry, right? Or
It
is that
can be
just an
good berry, but you
ingredient,
can
it's
also
not
add
necessarily the flavor.
Yeah, no, it's honey and good berry. That is the other thing. If you want
Yeah.
to add any other hints of flavors, whether it be blackberry, raspberry, blueberry, or anything like that, you could.
Well, I've never had gooseberry, but I like saying gooseberry. So
Gooseberry's interesting.
You you try to make your hands look like a goose, and and I guess this, I don't know, and she looks at you like, and then she's like, and then she doesn't get it. Yeah, she gets it there, and she waddles over to one of the cabinets that's far lower, closer to the ground, and she pulls out a little thing that says "In common gooseberry." You give her a thumbs up, and she's like, "Okay." She hands the jar to you, and she points to the thing, the big old thing. They look so good. They're like preserves. They're not fresh. They're preserves. And it looks really, really good. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, it's quite good. It's a little bitter, but it's TJ has no idea what gooseberries taste like, so
I don't know what
I'm making this shit up.
They're very cute.
What do they taste like?
They're tart. They're like,
Well, there you go. Tart and sweet.
if you were to take a golden grape, a green grape, not quite as tart as that, but just a little less tart, a little sweeter than that, and they're more
cool.
pointed.
And because they're preserves,
kind of like a rhubarby, maybe.
A little bit, but sweeter than that.
I love rhubarb. Yeah, so I think also because they're preserves, you have to add sugar and stuff, so they probably are a little sweeter than that. But it's good. It tastes really, really good. Your mom knows what she's fucking doing, and so does your dad when it comes to this type of stuff. And you're gonna and you can see the color change in the mead, and she gets all excited. She waddles back and forth a little bit, and she hands you a big old long spoon, and she taps your scales with it. It's like because she's stimming because she's super excited, and you grab the spoon from her, and she's like, mix it, and you mix it, and she's like. In the rhythm of you mixing it,
silent music.
Dancing. Yeah. Your dad is in the back just
Silent
dabbing.
disco. This makes so much sense for halflings to be doing, though.
It's
just
perfect.
vibing,
We're making alcohol party.
Great.
Great. So that's what's happening while Misheni is trying to figure out what.
I could do Ice Storm, but I need an area. And make sure no one gets hit by it.
Right, and that is a little bit more than I thought we would need. I need to put organs on ice, is basically what I need to do. And so...
I understand that.
Is there anything else or something to stop the decaying process or whatnot that you might be able to do for something like that? We've got dead bodies over here. I just look. I need the lungs.
Oh, you're talking about like the cleric cantrip. I see.
I don't got anything.
Okay.
Spare the dying is what she's talking about.
Yeah, I got it.
Or it's not a cantrip; it's a second level spell. But if he didn't prepare it today,
Yeah. Okay. I mean,
because that halts the decay of like.
look. Okay, Tammy can make things like hot or cold. Yes. So maybe perhaps we make some saline. Make a saline a little colder than normal. He would have to be let in on the secret then at that point. Well, it's not a secret. It's how to save his mom. But okay.
Does mending stop the decay?
I don't think so in this case. I don't think so.
Oh.
If it was like a Zek deck, then maybe. But not in this case. He looks so happy. He's so like innocent right now. Okay, can you?
Your dad's like fully on the counter now, just dabbing.
We need to pull him away at some point. 'Cause we need him.
He's
to
doing
do
his
this.
best just to get lost in the moment.
Because I can start trying to take him out and see if this is even a viable option. Would you be willing to kind of keep an eye on that to scoop? To keep and see if when it makes sense? To interrupt Tammy from his time with his family? To see if he can make something cold? I can get the saline done. That's fine, but it needs to be cold.
You say that to a scoop, and you both look into the kitchen, and your mother is fully break dancing. She's got like her head is down, and she's spinning on her head, and like doing like whoa, and then both Tammy are like oh, as she like pulls off a dope ass
All
fucking
silent.
break dance. It's all silent too. It's all like it's like those silent rave parties where everybody has headphones, except your mother's like fully break dancing, spinning on her head, and does like this crazy ass move,
God.
and both of it and both you and your dad are like.
Go, Mima.
Go.
I mean, can you do that at some point? This is really hard to break up, but like
I think
can't.
Nakano should.
All right, nose goes. There you go. Okay. All right.
I love how we hear Sean as though he's in the next room echoed because his microphone is so far away from his mouth.
Probably heard it from Angela's microphone.
No, but this is what it sounds like, guys. This is what it sounds like. It sounds like this.
Okay, so nose goes. Nakano, you get to break the news to Tammy that we can save his mom by cracking open her ribs and changing out her lungs. You know, it's easy peasy
Oh.
stuff. You know.
Great.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah. Totally. Totally.
Is he drunk?
Oh.
I'm drunk. I'm
you
high
guys
on life.
have you guys have been well the honey
Okay.
isn't fermented, but you guys have been doing quality control from the previous mead that was made while you're doing this, as is per tradition.
Yeah.
This is
I
very
think-
important to do
Yeah,
that.
I think typically whenever you homebrew, you have to taste some of the old homebrew. It's like kind of a thing from what I know. So
Yeah, so this is like this big moonshine jug of mead that's being passed around.
just make sure he has a little bit more of that, okay?
Sounds good.
And you guys just delegated Nakano to do this.
She is Death Warden. You know?
I love this.
I mean, if you need help.
Yes, if you need help, with the one with the lowest charisma, may help you.
All right, I'm gonna get started cracking open these bodies.
Something
okay?
different. God speaking voice.
I'll make a saline solution real quick, and then start working on the gnome because the gnome seems a little
sure.
colder.
You will have to go into the kitchen to get water and salt.
That's fine. It's
Yeah.
just
Yeah,
water
it's
and
still
salt.
yeah, they're also super like into. You can absolutely find a place where at the time where the
I'm
sink
just getting
is
a
vacant.
full big old pitcher.
Easy. No big deal. No big deal. I don't think the three of them even notice you
No.
as you do so. Speaking of which, there are other family members of the Grounders that are here. They're not in this space. They're in like an attached, like what was an addition to the household that they kind of lived there until they left. They're almost like never seen. They don't. They work out of town during the day and they come home and then they actually have a child. They work out of town. It's kind of like a guest house that's just technically attached, but you like never see them just because they do their own thing, and there's probably some like well, not trying to bother anybody. They may not even know what the heck is going on with this whole thing. There's just
They even
you
know that
don't know the
Mima's
story
sick.
behind it. You don't know. You haven't talked to them. You don't know.
I mean, I know my family. Are they like? Do they like check in, or are they just like?
So this is one of your older sisters and her husband and their daughter. They like kind of live in the guest house of the Grounder estate that just happens to be attached rather than separate.
Right.
But it is an entirely other house. You actually have to go outside to go back in. There's no like you can't hear stuff from one house to the other. It is a
Well,
separate
I mean,
house. It's kind of like a duplex.
communication like? I mean, do they talk?
They live their own lives. They don't like you haven't like actually seen them at all since you've arrived in town. Not even when people were being evacuated. You just haven't seen them.
Is that weird or is it not weird?
The conversations that you had with your father, it's not necessarily weird. I mean, it's just there's probably some ego and some shame going on there as far as like we wish we could live somewhere else, but you know,
Yeah.
times are tough, so we just
Yeah.
trying to keep to ourselves and just, you know, that type of thing. But you haven't seen them at all. So, I mean, that's up to you, you know. Tamron starts dabbing and slapping at flies.
These damn pantry moths. When we went to Greece, they like infected our entire pantry. There's just pantry moths everywhere. Can't get rid of them.
Oh,
Sucks.
buddy. Put some mothballs. You'll smell like a grandma's
Well,
place
we've got
all the time.
the traps, but it's not enough.
You need spider.
We do need spiders.
You need spiders. Yeah, you can introduce
Yeah,
spiders
for
into
real.
your ecosystem. Daddy longlegs.
There's lots
they
of spiders
love that stuff.
outside. There's some really big, beautiful webs around our house, but
Cool.
they're outside.
Just bring them inside. They'd be happy.
They're too big.
long as-
and scary.
Just find Nakano. She'll
They're
help
huge.
you out.
There's like
Right.
giant spiders outside.
Well, I've
have
actually
spiders, like,
I've
this big
actually been on a hunt for them. Like every day, like I kill 3 to 4. Like on a mission.
The
to
moths
find-
or
yeah.
moths.
Oh, so
Yeah.
so Angela is Nakano. She is the
Yeah.
spider.
Yeah.
She is killing them. You eat them too? You suck their
No,
blood?
I mean,
Like-
no.
No.
I'm like,
Too
dinner
powdery.
is served.
Yeah, that's true. It's like powdered sugar donuts.
Yeah.
It's just too much, you know.
Yeah, it's a little too sweet. Probably because they've been eating all those spices from the pantry.
Yep.
So yeah, you haven't really seen any of the other like there because there are a couple of family. There's your sister, her husband, and their daughter that are here. She is an older sister. She is about like a good 20 years older than you. Granted, halfling because it's relative. But yeah, you haven't seen her at all. So there you go. Nakano. Apparently, you were delegated to do something.
I know. Wait, that was real?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm
was
starting to
gross.
prep the checking the
no else like that.
nose goes.
Oh no! You see a Tamron. I'm sorry, not Tamron. You see a Scoop and Machete be like, and look at Nakano,
Yeah, you see.
and then he mean mugs you. Nakano's
So
like, fuck.
so we are definitely doing this.
I mean, I think
Yeah.
I think we need to at least bring Tammy into knowing that we found a solution.
Okay.
Possible solution.
Possibles.
You haven't opened up these bodies and done any autopsies.
Well,
yet.
no, but just even finding the
Also,
replacement
this home does not have the right facilities just quite yet. You need things like suction and healer kits. Do any of you have a healer's kit on you?
I mean, I have
I think I have a potion.
I have basic surgical
Potion is
tools.
not the same as a healer kit. A healer kit has the things like gauze, like those clamps and other types like that.
I have basic surgical tools on me,
Uh,
plus all the stuff
That could get by in a pinch, I'll say. It's like you could use sanitized like dish towels for like gauze and stuff like that. Boiled water to sanitize things. I mean, you could make do with stuff. You just it would behoove you to try to make stock of the supplies that you do have for because this is not a surgical theater. This is a halfling's egg home, like a tweed egg
I know.
home.
I'm just trying to assess what the state of these lungs and diaphragm are, and then put them in like saline or some sort of solution, like basically put them into.
Oh, you want to take them fully out of the bodies and put them in like suspended, like a solution.
Yeah, so that they're ready to
Wild.
go.
Okay,
when Mima's ready.
Both
to go.
of those things require still surgery and
Yeah.
still surgical implements and
You don't need suction
sanitization.
as much, but because the blood's not.
You know
pumping.
more than I do, so yeah, I'll defer to you when it comes to that. Yeah.
Yeah, you definitely don't.
Okay, Mike. Geez, you don't have to be a dick about it.
I was just thinking about.
I'm trying. I'm doing my best.
I know. I was just thinking about. I'm sorry. I was
Look at Sean heeing over there. Get the fuck out of
I
here.
got tee hee.
I'm sorry. I was just thinking back.
Oh no, he's got the laughing fever.
No. That's
Just
my
a little
intent.
tee hee.
That's my intent. We would definitely need a different facility versus the coffee table to do the entire surgery
Yeah.
for Mima. But
The
it's
biggest,
just to.
I think, the biggest thing here that you realize is sanitization.
Yeah.
This is not a sanitary environment, like not by far. Families live in here and do things like this. Needs to be sanitized. All your equipment needs to be sanitized, especially since these bodies are dead and they've been sitting in mud and dying.
Yeah. No, I would clean off the skin before I made any sort of incision. I would
Sure.
I would also do like.
Do you
For the
have any
tools.
type of antiseptic
I have.
or alcohol or anything like that?
I mean, I could ask for some of that.
Oh shit! Right. I mean, this is a fucking halfling home. They have a ton of grain alcohol here
Right.
that they drink.
Right.
Yeah.
So I could ask for that. I also have.
You know where it
little-
is. You saw it happen. It's under the stairwell.
I
There's
had a
so
little.
much
I
alcohol.
had a little bit even, and like I can do druidcraft for just like tiny little fire to
Yeah, absolutely.
to make heat something
You
up.
can burn your tools. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So those are the methods of
Brilliant.
sanitizing
brilliant.
things.
That'll work.
I would create the saline solution because I would know the proportions, and we did find out that earlier on in the campaign, like what the
Yep.
proportions would be. So it's really
Yeah,
just
that's the tough parts, really. The rest is going to be just rolls as to making sure you do surgery properly.
yeah. So it's really that. So that's what I'm doing. in the
Angela's
background.
going to be like not looking forward to this.
Well, if it's rolls, it's just rolls. We don't have
I
to
will.
describe
I'm
everything.
sorry. I might because it's kind of fun. I like the science surgical bit about it. I'll try not to be gruesome about it though, but I'll try to be clinical. Does that make sense?
Well, yeah. I mean,
So are you trying to make some sort of saline suspension where you could just put something so it doesn't?
I'm literally making a vat of salines that I can take once I've removed the lungs and the diaphragm.
Sure.
I can put them in that, and it will help ensure. Granted, it's not cold yet because I need Tammy's help for that, but
Cool.
it at least helps keep it.
Pardon me. Go ahead.
It at least keeps it more viable.
Cool. I'm gonna save you some time because this is stuff that you know how to do. You've been trained you are a doctor. You have your PhD in this type of stuff. Like
MD.
you have your I'm sorry. Yes, you have your MD. Yes, my mistake. You have your MD in this type of stuff. You know what to do. You know how to sanitize an environment. You know how to make a saline solution. You're fine. You can absolutely take a wash basin or a small metal tub, several of those that are around the house. They're not hard to find while everyone's having a good time. It's easy to do. Sanitize it with some of the grain alcohol. Fill it with a saline solution. You're good. You have that. It's a metal tub. You have a couple of them. You're able to do that time. No big deal. Easy. through some cantrip magic and your scientific knowledge, it's easy to make sure these things are sanitized with this grain alcohol and everything. You are able over the course of the next hour to turn the Grounder estate proper into a place that could work for triage.
Yeah.
Back to American Horror Story. There's just like, or American Psycho. There's just like
There's blood
plastic
everywhere.
all that.
Yeah.
I mean, kind of.
Huey Lewis in the news playing in the background.
Yeah. Like, I need some good music, you know.
Yes, so you can have all this set up and you're ready to go. You will need to, because you have one spot set up near the coffee table in the den where near the fireplace is, and one where the dining room where the runner table is, where the half elf is. It's easy to make these places clean. You also have in your surgical kit like an EPE a P. What is it called? Personal environmental protection suit or whatever it is, like a PEP.
PPE.
PPE. Yeah, you have a
Personal
PPE in there
protection equipment.
that is made out of like certain types of animal skins, hides, the type of thing that you're able to pull out, sanitize, you soak in the grain alcohol, and you're able to put on you. You can wear the mask. You can do that.
Yeah.
The thing you're going to have to be careful of here is the fact that what is that? What is
It's
that?
a moth.
Weird moth.
Hey, moth. What's up, buddy?
So the thing you're going to be careful of is exactly what Angela's showing us. Errant
Sorry.
insects, moths,
Are you good?
like other types of detritus, things falling from the ceiling, other creatures, including your companions that could walk into this without protection. And like you breathe on things because all it takes is a little bit, because once somebody is opened up, it's I mean, you know more than that when it comes to this.
Everybody put on their filtration mask. Well,
Right,
Scoop,
you have the filtration mask.
a scoop.
Damn.
Nakano, please put that on.
Made for the sakura blossom
yeah.
pollen. Yeah, absolutely.
And then,
Mine is
you
still
know,
over here just stirring mead. Like,
I
keep
mean-
them happy for as long as possible.
just-
Just keep.
I
you
mean,
know,
like the cap is on. You started putting the
do
bubbler
that.
in there and everything, and you just started kind of like dancing, no music. Like you guys are clapping, but there's no sound, and you're like, no music, no music. Both your father and your mother point at you and be like, "Pick it up, buddy," and you're like,
Hey.
and like mix it around, and so you're just like dancing
Gotta
with the
aerate that
carboy,
wort,
and like kind of sloshing it around because you're like 3 times their size, so you're just spinning around and sloshing it around.
so
As
I don't
you're
like.
supposed to do.
I don't observe an OR being like prepped in the kitchen.
I mean, so there's the wall between you and the den and there's, imagine it kind of like your kitchen at your home, Sean. See how
Yeah.
there's this big wall
Yeah,
between
yeah.
your and the den, and imagine where the mudroom is, where the stairwell is kind of where there would be a dining room with a long runner table. You'd have to go through a hallway and past a door. Like there's no actual line of sight to either of these rooms. So there's not really a way for you to be
Alright.
able to find out what's happening, because Machete just goes in there, grabs some salt and some water, and is like, hey, and then you're more concerned
yeah,
about what's going on
alright.
with your mom and your dad. I don't really think you care too much about what Machete's doing.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, I think they'll alert you when they feel like it's necessary, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, that's Nakano. Nose goes.
Yeah, that's the guy.
She has to pick the right time.
Oh no. Nakano, I just out of curiosity, what's your charisma score?
Oh.
It's +3.
The big number. That's the modifier.
Yeah,
The big
the
number.
17.
Shit.
For
Nakano,
real?
Why the fuck weren't you
Right.
talking to people?
Because Ibcasts are like quite charismatic.
Yeah.
Well, shit, damn.
Yeah. Dude, mine's 11. Like, you should have been talking to
Oh.
that blacksmith,
I
man.
guess
like, you know.
Nakano's just
Got that
hot. I
Dom
guess she's
charisma.
just canonically
Yeah.
like creepy
She's
hot.
like, whatever. I don't
Yeah.
So
care.
no matter
She
what she
fucking
says,
says. Yeah.
it's just like it's just murder mommy kind of hot. Like whatever she says.
Murder mommy.
No, well, Death Warden.
Yeah, death word and murder mommy. It's fine. We could go with that. Whatever.
Murder
you want.
mommy. That's got to be a subreddit.
Yeah.
Ugh. All right.
Before we get too much down to that,
Let's go back to the long
so
excision.
everything's set up. You're ready to go. Your tools are sanitized. You don't need Mima for this next step, but you do need. I would say I don't think you need, but it would be very helpful to have someone who is attuned with magic to be able to help you keep this place sanitary. Because if, God forbid, a fly fall, rest
We got
upon
Nakano for
an
that.
organ.
She is a spider. She's a speeder.
Let me finish. God forbid, like a fly or a moth or a piece of dust or some other detritus fall on organs that you're trying to keep completely sanitized before you put it in your saline solution. You could introduce an alien element into something that you're, trying not to do so. Like, this is still surgery. It's still science.
How long?
Can you like stick your webs everywhere, Nakano?
That could work. Like,
Yeah, I
that
could do that.
honestly could work.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you want to like
I
create
could
some
use
sort of
web.
like
Yeah.
hermetical tent out of your webs,
Yeah.
That'd be awesome, actually. Like around the coffee table, like
Yeah.
a little hermetic.
like no roll required, easily done. You just kind of create some
Yeah.
sort of like hermetical web around the surgery area. Super fucking cool. Great idea. Awesome. Love that shit. Looks dope as shit. And you see like Nakano's kind of on the outside using her spider limbs to like move the webs, continue like a little bit more and just make it so it seems a little bit more airtight and it catches more. And she's continuing to do that while you are opening somebody up, I guess.
This is fantastic. I've got to report this back to the rest of the college.
Point of order, you can only do that once.
Once. Yeah.
So you can have that over one of the bodies. What body do you want to put it over?
Gnome. That's the one I'm starting on.
Okay.
That's
So you do
coffee
that
table.
in like the living room, the den. Yeah.
Yep.
Over the coffee
And
table.
because that was the colder one too. So
Okay. You do so. And you create this hermetical web. How cool is that?
So cool.
My imagery of this, my mental imagery is
like
it's
actual
so
tent,
fucking-
like
Yeah.
actual tent, like
Yeah.
shaped web too.
Yeah.
It's cool.
super like triage modern tent, but made out of spider silk. Super cool.
Cool.
Awesome. I love this idea. I wish I had thought of it. I'm jealous. Yeah, you're good. You
All right.
and now it's just time for you to. So you tell me. You're the medical personnel, Noelle. You tell me, what is your first step?
We're trying to see if the lungs are viable. I'd probably open up the rib cage, and then I would actually do a test for
So
like
incision
inflating.
first.
I would incision and then rib spreader.
Yep.
Because we're going to have to extract it. It's not going to
And
be
you've
minimally
sanitized
invasive.
the vice. No big deal.
And I would actually make sure that the lungs could expand and contract using like some sort of just. I could even do mouth to mouth. That'd be fine. With just trying to make sure that they would expand and deflate as well. Prior
Right.
to
You do
excising
have,
them.
you're a smart individual. I can give you this kind of stuff without rolls. You do have like leather pouches, and you do know that leather can hold
Yeah.
air. If you want to do some like those types of, like those modern
Bellows.
type of bellows,
Yeah.
that in order to help people breathe, you could fashion some sort of like trachea type of thing and try to
Yeah,
get it into
but
the,
I'd want to
yeah.
see the lung capacity itself because clearly the
Sure.
individual is not alive. So I'd
all
have
of
to-
this is pretty MacGyver, and it's
It's
a lot of guesswork.
surprisingly though, like the rib spreader, that's not that MacGyver. That's
Oh yeah, no, it's like a straight up vice that you're just using the reverse proportion.
Yeah.
So you do like as
Yeah.
Nakano is like fixing some of the threads and the strands of the thing, you hear like the of like the it's just kind of the crackling and just the
and bone saw
of
coming
the
in.
yeah. There's a
like,
bone
yeah.
saw that goes and
Sorry, Sean.
for like the sternum where so that you can spread the ribs and
gnarly
there's like
as
that cracking and snapping. It's not full snapping, it's just the tension of things like all the trabecular
Yeah.
stuff between
Well,
the
it's not-
bones are just spreading.
Yeah,
Which is good sign. They are still flexible, which means that like rigor mortis and dryness of the bones and like all the white blood cells within the marrow of the
Well,
bones
it's-
haven't
it's-
completely like gone to to trash yet.
Well, and that's
because
another
magic.
reason why I want to see the elasticity of the lungs themselves.
Exactly.
So-
cool. So you want to take like a leather pouch and try to inhale it, or
Yeah, 'cause
or are
I
you
know
trying
the
to blow into the mouth?
I know the volume
I
of
got
the
a-
pouch.
You want my blowpipe?
Or I could do Druidcraft because I know that.
Oh
that-
yeah, that'll
just-
work.
You have a blowpipe?
Magic is great because no germs are
Yes.
involved.
Right,
It's-
because then it's just puff of air, and then
I'll do
Sure,
that with
yeah.
blowpipe.
Cool.
so we'll do that. Do the lungs expand? They work the way that they ought
The
to.
lungs. I'm gonna use one of these new die that I got.
Oh yeah, they're super rad
Yeah,
die,
they're
guys. I don't know if you can
insane.
see them,
Oh,
but they're
oh,
they're
no.
metal, and TJ just killed something with it. Wonderful.
They're like sharp and metal and purple and gold. It's wild.
Some of them are like really cool. Like
Yeah.
the D10's really nifty.
This is a 1, 2, 3. This is a D8 and it's like a little.
Whoa.
yeah, it's
This
cool.
is the D8. It's wild.
Thank you
It's
for
so
calling.
wild.
You could make any die into a cylinder.
These are the D10s. They're like they spin. Like
They're
this.
Whoa.
Yeah, they're
Yeah,
super cool.
Super cool. They spin like tops. It's super cool. And the D4 is just like a dragon egg that has 4 sides.
Oh.
Yeah, they're super cool. So I'm using the D20, which has very sharp sides that I have stabbed myself with multiple times.
Is the D20 just the D20?
Yeah, it's just D20, but it's got like sharp points on each of the corners that come out that I've stabbed myself and hurt
That's
myself
rad.
times with.
That's cool as hell.
Yeah, they're pretty cool.
So the lungs do appear to, as far as you can tell, expand the way they're supposed to.
Okay.
If you want to take a moment to examine them further to see if there's any type of decay, please roll a medicine check.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't want to put this something like this into your mother without absolutely knowing. That's a 25.
25. These lungs are in pretty good condition. You do notice one thing.
Okay.
There appear to be a perforation in one of the lungs. This doesn't appear like it was damp. This appears to be an old thing, like some sort of condition. There doesn't appear to be like it's not damage from during death or any kind of occurrent. It's their lungs. They seem to have developed some sort of condition where there is an actual small, like 2 tiny little pinholes about like maybe this big and this big in the right lung that. I had a friend who had something like this out of game. I had a friend who's something like this. It was a tuba player friend of mine because we both played tuba growing up in
Which you
college.
definitely need lung power for that.
But you really need lung power. And he went to the doctor and realized, like, hey, you have a hole in your lung. You know, it's small, but, you know, it's a thing. You need to do something about it, like, you know. And I don't know what the treatment was for it, but eventually it did get to a point where it was regenerated and he was okay.
That's good.
But it took a while to do so. This looks like it was something that has developed over the course of the past couple years, maybe, and just hasn't, and it was interrupted in its healing process. You would need to patch that
Yeah,
to make
could
it
I-
viable.
yeah.
Like 100% viable.
I would
You
at
could.
that point. Yeah, at that point, I would, knowing that this is pretty darn close to what her her lung capacity would be.
Mm-hmm. You
cetera.
also need to remove the diaphragm. We were just talking about the lungs here. but
Yeah.
please continue.
I would try to patch up that tiny little hole just to make sure that
With what?
I've got some sutures, etc. Honestly, if we just cut off that little bit of
You
the
would need
airways,
some sort of grafting material for this. Although I did describe them as pinholes, you are very familiar with how animagen magic works when it comes to this type of thing. A foreign element is super helpful with this type of thing because rather than just doing sciencey sutures, if you can take like some sort of square and use your animagen magic with science, you can almost like perfectly with mending or whatever, that type of thing, not necessarily that spell, but like actually get it to fully accept and assimilate into the lung itself.
right?
Because there's magic in this world. So think about it as if you were doing like kind of stitching, but also what's going to be best is if you had some sort of graft because the animagen specialize in grafting. So you need some sort of flexible material that could work for
Looking
long
at my
lining sack
my
lining.
various vials along my neck, I see a piece of seaweed from the bottom of the seafloor.
That very well could work.
Just a
yes.
little bit, just because I'm imagining these are very tiny. So I
Mhm,
would take
yeah.
a little bit
You
of
just
that.
need like a 1-inch square.
Yeah. I would take a little bit of that. It would also make it so that it could work.
It very well could work. You're going to
So-
have to put some magic into this in
Yeah,
order to do this.
that's okay.
So what I want you to do is, as you notice this, once they're inflated, because you did kind of like hear some sort of hissing, and you made sure that you took some sanitary saline and you covered the lungs with it to see if any bubbles came out of the lungs, as is part of your procedure. Because again, for all you watching
Like a
that know how
tire.
to do surgery, yeah, like a tire. For all of you watching that know how to do surgery, this is a fantasy world. I'm making this shit up. Please just roll with it. I'm sorry. I'm
and
doing
I have
my best.
and I have some knowledge, but not
like
complete.
just-
I am not a
have-
surgeon. I am not an MD. I've
yeah,
learned
yeah.
from surgeons,
Just
but I'm not an MD.
roll with
so-
it. Like,
Lungs is.
I
tire.
understand. If you have like a huge
Yes.
problem with
If
what
you
I'm
learned
doing,
one thing today.
you can get in the comments if you really want. That's totally fine.
And
I
please
will
teach us
hear you.
something,
Yeah,
please.
teach us something, sure. But this is a fantasy world with weird anatomy and magic, and Animagen is magic science.
Don't try to go cutting people's lungs out and putting them into
Yeah,
other.
please
Don't
don't do
put
this.
seaweed in
Please don't
people's
attach
lungs.
seaweed to people's lungs. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to do 2 things. You're going to have to roll an Animagen Arcana check, which is
Okay.
Arcana plus your proficiency,
Okay.
if you're not proficient in it already. And a medicine check,
I am
same thing, which I assume you're already proficient in. So
Yeah, Arcana I am proficient in.
okay,
it's
so then
gonna
just
be
an Arcana and a medicine check.
10 for the Arcana. Medicine, though, on the other hand, is 22.
22. Okay, why don't do me a favor? I know there's no real actual spell that could work
Do you need me
well
to
with
just
this.
expend-
No. I just want you to tell me, because you tell me what spell you would use with magic via Animagen that you would have available to you that you think would work best for what goal you're trying to achieve in this moment. Because that could affect your roll. It could either add a bonus, it could give you advantage, could go the opposite
Honestly,
way.
I don't know if this is available to rangers off the top of my head, but I know that overall it is available to people that know plants. Plant growth. 2nd level.
Plant growth takes 8 hours to cast.
No, it doesn't, I don't think.
I think it takes a while to cast. I'll double
There
check
is
that.
also still druidcraft, so I'm imagining
Do you have-
growing.
Do you have any healing spells?
I do. I have the healing spirit, so I could get my little falcon out, and he could help me with this. But I imagine that because again, it's seaweed, so it's not even.
Plant growth is casting time 1 action or 8 hours.
Right. I don't know if it's available to
Oh,
me.
it has.
Why would you
different
ever
effects.
choose 8 hours over?
Because it has different
6
effects if
seconds?
it's used in action or if it uses
I
8
see.
hours. If you cast a spell using an action, you choose 1 point within range. All normal plants in a 100-foot radius centered on that point become thick and overgrown. A creature moving through the area must. It's like
Is it
it's like
available-
double difficult terrain.
Is it available to rangers? So that's the one thing. I
Bard,
don't-
druid, and ranger.
So
If you use 8 hours to cast it, all plants in a half-mile radius centered on a point within
I don't
range
need that. I
become
need it
enriched
on
for
one little
year.
tiny 1-inch square. So I can expend a second.
Yeah.
I can expend a second level spell slot if you'd like.
It's a 3rd level transmutation spell,
I do not have a 3rd level.
so you can't cast flame. Growth.
Okay. Well, I will then do multiple cantrips and try to basically like. They're not. Seaweed is
Druidcraft
not
stitching?
even. Huh?
It's like druidcraft stitching.
Kind of. It's because seaweed doesn't even have roots necessarily because it's different types of structures.
Okay,
But
you're
that-
in Animagen. You are specialized in being able to meld organics,
Yeah.
whether they be plant or animal cells. To you, an Animagen, there's no difference between plant
So
and animal cells.
basically, it's like, okay, let's for lack of a better term, let's grow the roots out to mesh
Yeah.
with the animal cells that are there.
You're trying
and
to align and merge the edges of the
Yeah.
seaweed to allow it to possibly be able to. Yeah, you can do that. So that's totally good. You got a 25 for your medicine check.
Yeah.
You feel very confident in your ability to do so. I want you to flip a coin.
Do you want me to expend a spell slot given how much?
No, this is a cantrip. You just
Okay.
have to. This is just a long process that takes a while. But
right.
I want you to flip a coin. Do you want this?
I
actually don't know
can-
if I have my coin anymore.
I have a coin, I think.
Yeah.
I will find one. I know I have one.
Because this is work that you've done before, but
It's been a while.
some of the stuff that you're trying to do is still not like fully. You know what to do with you. You're doing this to a corpse, and a bunch of there's a
Yeah.
bunch of other factors that you're not used to being able to do it. You've done stuff to corpse before, but those corpses have then now find themselves into live people.
So do you want heads to be one thing?
I'm not going to tell you. You just
Okay.
tell me what it is you flip, and I'll tell you. And you might not even know what happens.
Got to get in the tray. So 1 versus a 20, it's a 1.
Okay. You feel like you do a good job. I mean, the seaweed's in. You're able to see the point where some of the organics of the lining of the lung kind of elide into the color of the seaweed. You test it and you push down on the lung covered with saline. No bubbles come out. Seems airtight.
Okay. I'll also try to prepare the other the half elf.
Did you pull out your healing falcon thing?
I did not.
You didn't?
Do you
Okay.
want me to?
No. I was just curious as to.
It's more so like
I can't ask these questions without influencing your decision.
it's
I
more
was
so-
just fully asking whether you did or not.
It's more so understanding if I see that it's working or not, and if it's
It
not,
looks
then
like
I
it's
would.
working. It looks like it's not necessary.
Okay, I would not then at that
Okay.
point. Okay, I think I've got this pair of lungs fine, and healed, and they seem to fit well.
Nakano
take a
has
look
been
at the diaphragm.
outside helping you this whole time
Yeah.
to make sure.
Let me take a look at the diaphragm.
Nakano, there's a bunch of cabbage moths and other things that you've been catching in your thing, and you've just been like, oh. Because, I mean, you're still part spider. Like, this is still something like this
Yeah.
is it's nutritious. You can if you want.
Popcorn.
I don't want to take your agency away. If you want to eat the bugs, you can, but they're caught in your web, and they're nutritious.
Nakano wouldn't mind.
Yeah, I think I agree. I think the Nakano
Yeah.
would be just like, oh, perk of the job.
Protein.
Nom, nom.
Yum,
yum. Yeah.
Protein. Yeah, but your triage tent is great. You did an amazing job with this thing. So you have patched up the lungs. The next step is to remove them.
I check out the
And then
diaphragm
we
too.
have to talk about yeah. Okay, you want to do the diaphragm? Check out the diaphragm. Okay, roll another medicine check for me.
22.
22. This diaphragm is in excellent condition.
All right.
This diaphragm this person was in excellent shape. They just had a condition that caused them to have a hole in their lung that was in the process of healing. But other than that, it's unfortunate because this was, in another world, in another time,
Yeah.
they could have been an athlete.
Right. Okay. This looks good.
This
I
is the
think I've-
gnome, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
I think
very
I've
well.
patched up everything that I need to. All right, I'm going to try to taking out the lungs here and everything. All right, Nakano.
I have
This is a
no
fantastic event tent, by the way. This is wonderful. I really need to tell
beautiful.
people about this. This is wonderful.
It's
Triage.
catching all of the
Yeah.
stuff that falls from the ceiling, and all the dust is getting stuck to it. Like nothing's making it inside.
This is awesome.
You're hermetically
Wow.
sealed. It's fantastic. So the thing is like, again, correct.
Sean.
What the fuck is happening?
Sean.
Excitement is happening.
John,
Sean.
what is happening?
Like, what is happening? He's making
What is he
a
doing?
cocktail.
Spanking something?
That makes sense. Cocktail makes sense.
Cocktail.
Oh, he's making a cocktail. Yeah, no, okay.
Yeah.
This deserves a cocktail. So
Surgery and cocktails.
so
always.
here's the deal.
Yeah.
Again, I have no idea what the hell I'm talking about. I'm guessing in order to remove the lungs, you need to remove, I guess, part of the trachea or look part of the esophagus or whatever it is.
So this is more of a question for you because honestly, it depends on how much of the
Humanoid
airway,
physiology.
No,
I'm sorry,
it
go
depends
ahead.
on how much of the airway has been transmogrified
Oh, you mean like
for
via decay?
Mima. For Mima, how much would have been changed versus just sticking purely to
you
the
won't
lungs?
know until you open her up.
So,
this is
okay.
this is an anomalous
So what I would do
scenario.
then-
You won't know until you.
So then what I would try to do is try to take as much as I possibly could, which
Sure.
would go up into the trachea a bit.
Yeah.
I mean, because you would have
Yeah. I don't see any problem with that. Yeah.
and if I don't need it, it's fine. I can get rid of it. But
Yeah, absolutely. You are able to like via Druidcraft and a bunch of things, make sure the blood's out of the way, yada yada yada. You're gonna make one last medicine check. I don't know. Again, I'm not studied in this. I don't know if the lungs are attached to other things other than the spinal cord and the the trachea and everything.
it's
like-
not spinal cord. It's
don't
literally trachea and a little bit of the
the lining of the
like
ribs. the pleura.
tissue,
Okay,
like the
yeah.
internal like connective tissue. For lack
Sure,
of a better
sure.
term.
It's just
So
you just like cutting. It reminds me of like Independence Day where they're cutting all the alien tissue off of like things
Yeah.
that are connected. Yeah, sure. Just roll to just pull this thing out.
yeah, diaphragm. You would also take out at the
Diaphragm-
same time. You would.
You would take out at the same time.
It's.
Are they one piece? I
It's
don't
not
know
one-
what I'm talking
It's not
about.
one
so.
piece, but I think. Again, sorry if I'm
Also, it's fantasy. If we get this
fantasy.
wrong, it doesn't
Sorry,
matter.
guys,
So,
but I
This
would
world,
imagine
it is the way we say.
yeah, this is the way. It's what the way that we decide it is. So it doesn't matter. Also, it's a gnome. Get
you
away
would
from
try
me.
to take it out at the same time because everything is the diaphragm itself is a muscle,
Okay.
and so it's
So if it's required to take both at the same time, the DC changes, but one roll would be required for both of them to be taken out.
if it's lower, you can get just the lungs out.
Here's
I
the deal:
think.
Nakano is done with her triage tent. If you want, she can come in and give you extra hands. She has a bunch of extra limbs to help you, like be like clamp here, clamp there, and she can easily scrub up so she can be sanitized. She can help you. She has tons of limbs, and they're very very precise. She has amazing dexterity.
Yeah.
She could give you the help action if you want.
Alright. Would you want to do that? I know it's a little weird in here.
It is
but
gruesome.
You're asking a lot.
I know, but it's for his mom, you know.
Yeah, I
Like,
know.
You hear in the
You
back
don't
of your
have to
mind,
look
Nakano.
at it. If I just tell you, I could like move your
choice is
hand to the or limb.
Okay, all right,
the
I'll
r-
do it. I'll do it.
Oh, okay, all right. You know what? We're gonna have some of that fucking meat after we're done with this. It's gonna be fine. It's gonna be good.
Not that meat, because it needs time to ferment.
No.
But other meat, yeah.
I'm talking about the homebrew meat that's
Yeah.
over there that I keep drinking.
You see, like, you see that Tamrin's mom and dad are both going chug, 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 as Tamrin's taking one of the meads and like, ooh, and like almost like keg standing this one mead bottle.
17.
17. You did it with advantage.
Yes.
Okay.
One of them was a nat one.
Wow.
Holy
Danger.
shit.
Yeah.
Okay. You
So
feel
thank you,
pretty
Nakano.
confident in your. There's like the one slight complication as all of the other lining of the pleura you're able to pull out as you pull out the diaphragm and the lungs, and you're able to put them in. The most complication was when it came to the trachea.
Yeah.
There was some constriction going on, and it was very rough and hard. you weren't able to do it with just the scalpel. You had to grab the hacksaw and like start to saw through the trachea because the muscle was so stiff.
And you actually have little bone, like
and
cartilage
there's
things
like there's
there,
a
so it's-
cartilage type bone there, and so you were concerned about like, oh no, is that part of the trachea starting to succumb to rigor mortis? What's happening? But you are able to get it out. But you do know, this is what I will tell you as you're able to get from that medicine check, is that you have a choice to make here.
Okay.
Either you do autopsy and pull from the other body and see what's going on there and risk this becoming worse,
Okay.
or you take your chances and go with this right now.
I mean, regardless, Mima is not ready right now. She's not. She's been drinking alcohol.
No,
She would
I
bleed
don't
out
mean
more.
like immediately, but I just mean like the amount of time it takes to do these types of things is hours. You know, it takes hours to do this type of surgery. So if you want to do the surgery on the half elf as well, you risk the whatever was going on, why that was so rough, becoming worse.
Could I do like just the same check of the lung capacity? Because that should be less time.
Yeah. Yeah. What takes the most time is the removal
The
and
excision,
the surgery.
yeah.
Yeah. And what took more time extra because there was a complication of the hole in the lung. So,
Sure.
yeah, as far as incision and spreading the ribs, that does not take very long. No.
All right, I would like to do that.
Okay.
And then I can make the decision at that point whether it's worthwhile to continue
Cool.
with the half elf or not.
You have to think about the other complication, which is that Nakano cannot create you another triage
I
tent
know.
with her web. She can only do it once per day.
Yeah.
So there, if you want to do it raw, the way it is, there I will be rolling for infection over here to see if it happens.
Okay.
Unless you have something to try to ameliorate that.
I think. I can get my little falcon out and have him just basically heal any type of, if that's cool, just heal any type of.
How long does it last?
So, up to a minute.
Okay. That'll help. I'll say that'll help. If you're trying to do this quickly, incision, spread,
Just
take a look.
see, yeah,
And just keep the healing spirit like moving around to make sure that
yeah.
stuff doesn't. I'll say that'll help the DC. Yeah.
Okay, we'll do that then.
Sure. Okay.
Okay.
Ooh, that was cocked.
So we have the gnomish
Okay.
pair of lungs in the saline solution.
Yep. It's in the bathtub or it's in the wash basin. Yep.
Okay.
All set. Nakano's just standing there, like putting her body over it so that it doesn't get anything on it. Just staring at this kind of like neutrally buoyant set of lungs and diaphragm that's just in this wash basin.
Okay. What? How do the lungs look from the?
Well, we need
half
to roll for your incision and your rib spreading. It's not a hard check, but it is a medicine check.
One. Nice. 28.
28. Very quickly, expertly done. You take the shiv. You don't even do like the line. You just go, and then take the vice, dip it, and then throw it in, and as you hear, you do hear the sound of, unfortunately, because you're doing this so quick, a couple of the ribs do snap.
That's okay.
But you won't even have time to saw the sternum, so you just pull it open and let the ribs snap. None of them perforate anything,
Okay.
but I mean, this chest is destroyed.
That's fine.
But
We
the
don't care
organs
about that.
seem to be
Yeah.
intact. You take a look. The lungs seem, average, healthy as far as you can tell. Like they look fine. They're obviously larger than the ones that you had previously harvested, so the capacity is larger.
Right. But if it's too large for the chest cavity of Mima, then that's
You think that at this point, while looking at them with that high of a roll, either ones could be viable.
okay.
The human ones could perhaps give her a higher lung capacity. The only thing that you would be concerned about is how much strain that would put on her heart to keep that larger organ full of blood.
Right. So then I would prefer the gnomish, but I will.
But then again, I mean, Mima, you already know how tough Mima is, so you don't know. She could handle it, she could not. You don't know until you open up Mima.
Yeah. But knowing just the general size of halflings, that's what I'm going off of.
Sure. I
basically.
think to save you some time again, you have options. Both of these could work.
Okay.
I think like whatever you decide to go with, the other one could very well be used as a backup.
Okay. I will try to harvest the half elf as a backup, and
Are you going to take the hours it needs to do so?
right, because it then affects that. I think at this point, Nakano, can you nose goes? Can you tell Tammy about what's going on here? What needs to happen?
Yeah.
And honestly,
You take your time.
I mean,
with
no
that, 'cause
Fred. No Fred probably
I have
should
so
know.
much anxiety that I need to pee or I'm gonna piss my pants. So you take your time to do that.
No Fred should probably know too. Mima knows what's happening. She chose to keep it a little bit secret. But I definitely need Tammy to help keep this cold, so I can maybe get this as a backup in case something
Okay.
goes wrong.
So am I just gonna tell Tammy what's going on and then?
Yeah, tell him everything. I mean, that's what I would do. But you know how to deliver things to people a little bit better than I do. It's you know, it's
Okay.
I know
So
yeah.
I'll do it.
Okay. All right. Those goes. Gonna go back in again. Awesome triage tent. Gonna tell this to the other and Imogen's like, this is spider silk. Who knew? It's great. Keeps everything out. So. All right. Thank you for holding those things open. I appreciate it. Here we go.
Where's Tammy?
Making mead in the other room.
Yeah.
Hello, Tammy.
He's in the.
We're in this cone of silence. That's I'm offering mead to you.
You're so happy. You're so happy right now too. You're
Having
like
such a time.
Yeah.
I'm in the denial stage of grief.
Yeah.
So, do you read lips?
No.
I do.
You do. Why don't you tell him?
As he did those goals. It's the, it's the rule, right? It's,
I look.
Walk.
You look strange. So I'm like, you good? Like,
Tick
you know, like,
tock, tick tock, tick tock.
like everything.
Okay,
cool?
let's go.
Are you telling? Are you?
What?
What are you? Are you gesturing to me to come to you?
Yes.
How do you gesture, Nakano? I have to know. Are you like?
I
Yeah.
can see your hand, but it's like blurry.
Yeah, it's all
because of
blurred. You got to
the-
put it in front of your face.
you
Yeah.
go.
So
I'm
you're
doing
like,
that.
come to me, Tamrin. Come
I'm
to
like-
me. He's
Yes,
all
ma'am.
drunk too. He's like, okay, all right. He's like, hey, mom and dad, you just wait, yeah. And they're like,
So I'm doing sign language here?
No, at this
I
point,
mean, you're just doing the like,
you can
come.
leave the,
Okay.
I mean, COME.
the bubble of. It's clear that you have to tell me something. So I'll just take you away from the bubble.
I think what's the closest is that you take Tamrin into the room where there's a half elven body, ribs spread open on the dining table as Tamrin just walks in, and you're like, so.
Hey.
I'm just like,
And Machete's like got her scrubs
Finger
on and her
guns.
mask and like all her bloody hands with like gloves on, and she's like,
And I start moving
like-
over to the other body.
oh no.
Oh,
Fucking
no.
A.
no.
Finger guns as I move over to the other body to continue working on things.
What's going on here? What is this? This is insane.
You're looking really good, by the way. You're really good.
Well, thank
She's
you.
like, come here. You're looking really good.
Thank you. This is shocking and bizarre.
Tammy, are you a little drunk?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
just had
it's
me
not as
chug a
bad
bunch
as
of
it
tea.
looks.
I'm sorry. You didn't have
looks
to if you
pretty
didn't want
bad.
to. It
It
was
looks
just kind of
like-
funny. So
Yeah.
I mean, but you know what Machete does. Like
Yeah.
she's
Yeah, that's true.
and
Yeah.
you know
like-
that she was looking for things earlier to try to help. So like
Yeah, that's true. But I still know nothing about the poison. I know nothing about the fact that her
Right.
lungs might be. I know
Right.
nothing. I know I come in and I see lungs.
you just see a surgical
basket,
table. Yeah.
dead
we lost
people
Angela.
around.
It's
I mean,
hard.
I know you guys well enough to know that nothing nefarious is going on, but I'm still like, this is
This is weird. This
what
is fucking
the hell's
weird.
going
Like,
on? Yeah.
I have my coffee table book right next to an autopsy. This is great.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it's
It's like if I were just to walk into my kitchen, you just like had set up a tree. It's like, it's insane. It's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Right.
It's just
it really would be kind
I
of similar
kind
to
of
that
just
kind
modeling
shattering
real
of
life,
reality.
You know?
It's just like
Yeah.
I like
Yeah.
I like semi almost like a little modeled the layout of the grounder estate to Sean's kind of house a
Yeah.
little bit. Yeah, it just to make it easier to understand.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't like help it. My brain automatically went to that place. Except like where the stairwell and the mudroom would be, there's like another hallway and there's a dining room. There's like a
Sure,
table,
sure.
everything. And there's like a second floor and whatever. But yeah, so to help you understand what's going on. Yeah, so you walk in there and there's, glove, blood. Trisheni wearing the Sakura pedal mask, by the way.
I'll see her
Yeah.
wearing the mask and put my mask immediately.
You like immediately like shove into your bag and put the mask on. Nakano also has her mask on because she's not stupid. She's very smart. But what do you guys do? You just kind of
What is this?
gesture at
What's
the
happening?
body?
What's going on? I'm asking people.
going on? What's going on?
What is this?
We did a little investigating for a couple bodies. Dragged them here.
Seems on brand.
Machete's
It's
doing a little
on brand.
experimentation
Okay.
with one of them. One of those bodies that were
Okay.
already dead, though. So
Yeah, I
And
assume so, but also wouldn't be surprised.
so there's a lung in there.
Okay.
Lungs
Lungs.
and a diaphragm.
Lungs.
Yep.
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 Excuse me, just 1 second. I'm just gonna go into the bathroom and vomit, and then come right back.
Yeah, so you go into the bathroom. Like, excuse me 1 second. You go walk into the bathroom. You go like vomit, and while you do, a scoop. You're still ritually casting silence to keep it around Mima and No Fret as they're dancing together in the kitchen, just enjoying it, their own music silently and having a good time. And you're just like, oh, it's cute, and you're just continually casting that because you kind of have to, unless you want to stop. It's up to you. It's entirely up. You're just doing that, so you're just enjoying the show of them having a good time with each other. You come back from the bathroom, Tamron.
You still want to do like a joint dissertation with me?
Pull up your mask,
Yeah.
wipe it,
Yeah.
and put it back on.
Okay. Cool.
Absolutely.
All right. Cool.
Um.
I do need you keep this cool, if you can.
Huh?
Can you keep this cool?
Can I keep this cool?
Yeah.
What do you
yeah,
mean?
you cool
Oh.
with this, my dude?
No,
Yeah,
like
this-
physically cool.
I'm not gonna tell anybody.
Keep it cool.
No.
Oh,
I-
like
it's not-
physically cool.
Like physically
Yeah.
cool. Like I need you to make sure
Press-
yeah.
Presentation.
You can change the temperature a little bit, yeah. With
Just a little
Yeah,
presentation.
sure. What's going on?
Yeah.
We wanted Nakano to tell you, so Nakano, here you go. I'm gonna work
so
on this
you've
other body.
explained so far that you've collected dead bodies and there are lungs in that bin,
Diaphragm.
all of which I can see. It's true.
Yeah.
It's
All
definitely
for a
Nakano.
good. All for a good cause.
I fixed
Okay.
it. It's all right.
What's the cause?
So far, Tamron has only seen one body, which is the half-elfin body that's ribs.
I see one body, but
has a big
two
old
lungs.
hole. Yeah.
Oh.
The lungs are still in it, by the way. And you see,
thought
like,
I-
Machete massaging them, like, and just making full eye contact with you.
Whose lungs are these and why? are they?
Well, I
So-
don't know, but along the way we came up with a
Along our
possible
journeys.
solution.
It could fix your mom, okay?
to
Wait, what?
to so that your
No,
mom.
I was like, nose goes. I'm not saying this anymore.
You say I can fix my mom?
Yeah.
Really? How? Wait. How?
Nakano's been delegated to talk about all of this.
I don't quite know the science.
You see Machete put
What
her
did you
bloody
discover?
glove up against her nose, her big
But I
old snout, and be
knew-
like,
I
I'm not
know
saying
that-
anything.
I'm not doing it.
These lungs will replace your mom.
Okay, I can explain the science bit. You just need to do the like tactful bit.
Yeah, I'm
All right,
immediately
Nakano.
just starting to cool the. I'm on board. I'm
Just
cooling the lung.
cool the lungs. Look.
Yeah.
So
You're casting the spell while you're making contact with Machete.
So basically, somebody changed your mom's anatomy so that they were like Durkesh, like you, so that they would be susceptible to laughing fever. This is clearly a long plan, right? The problem is that her lungs are now Durkesh. I need to replace her lungs and her diaphragm in order to make her not potentially, susceptible to this. It's not a guaranteed fix. It is definitely something that Nakano and we figured out through like looking at the poison that was in the collar, etc. But I told your mom. I said, though, we're gonna go get something else. We figured out the solution. She was like, kind of reassuring in a very weird, supportive way that didn't seem like she knew exactly what she wanted.
you, Tamron. Yeah.
But I did tell your mom like 3 hours ago or something. Because she's the patient. She would need to go under surgery if this happened. But we have the things. We can do it. We can do it. I think we can do it. But I need your help in cooling them down. And then maybe we need to knock your mom out and put her in here and also do surgery here. Or somewhere else, like the blacksmith tent. He seems like amenable to things. Also, a Scoop, you need to talk to somebody about their baked goods, okay? Cool.
What?
Yeah. Just get them some tips on baking. You've been
Do you like
studying.
pop your head out of the room and like past the gnomish
still in
body
the
that's
same
on the
room.
coffee table? Yeah,
Yeah.
no, you've stayed by like the door pretty much. Yeah, I'm just saying you're not in the dining room because they're all in the
Oh.
dining room. You pop your head at the dining room and look through the living room to where like the mud room is to a Scoop and say, you might need to talk about somebody about baked goods. He's just like, what? And you pop your head back.
So
And
that-
continue talking about dead
So
bodies.
that's the science. I'm going to go back to this. If there's... Yeah, we're going to go back to this now. All right.
From what I understand, my mom has a sentence.
She hasn't fully consented. It's weird. She was
I
weird.
trust all of you. And if there's any amount of hope that you survive this, even if it's slight,
Put the microphone closer.
I'm on. Even if there's any amount of chance that she could survive this, even if it's slight, I'm on board. And if you think that, all of you being the expert, I've seen what you've done and the miracles that you've worked.
Don't put me on the pedestal. This is...
I understand that, but like I said, my mom has a death sentence, and I'm not ignorant to that fact.
It's fair.
And so, any shred of hope that you can offer, I'll accept.
I just want to make sure that she's fully accepted. And if you can do that and talk to your mom about it. Because she was weird about it. I swear. When Nakano and I were about to go get lungs, it was weird. I need her consent. And I'm
Of
scared of her
course.
dad, but I need her consent.
Scared of her dad.
Don't be scared of no Freddy's.
He's... No, but like You weren't here when I was digging through like his research. It was a little weird. I was like, okay, but don't fuck up my wife. But I don't know you. And I was like, okay. Anyway, just
Okay.
if you can talk to your mom. I'm more than happy to talk to her about the complications and side effects, etc. But I need a clear answer from her in order to proceed. I'm getting everything ready in case she says yes. Okay?
Can I
Okay.
Can I tell what she was really thinking at the time? Because I was looking at her too, and I'm more.
Oh, you mean like when she
insight
was like,
related?
tapping Machete on the shoulder, that type of
Yeah,
thing?
yeah.
And you gave her the note? Yeah, sure. I'll let you roll a retroactive insight check, absolutely.
I got a 19.
Fuck yeah, Scoop.
19. I mean, just kind of reaffirming what I said before, she is already, I don't want to say resigned, but she is already okay with whatever happens is going to happen, and she understands that. If somebody has a alternate solution, she's more than happy to try to explore it, but she's far more concerned about making the best of the time that she has so far. But if she'll go with whatever. She's fine. Like she. Does that make sense? Like
Yeah.
she understands. Like, I'm so glad you found what it is that you found. If it doesn't work out, that's fine. I'm gonna go back to loving my family for the moment. If it does work out, you just let me know, and I'll do whatever the rest of my family thinks is necessary, and that I think is necessary. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Miss Shani, I think you.
They're kind of down
she-
for whatever.
I think she gave you her consent.
All right.
That's.
She's at the point where she's no longer afraid of death.
All right.
Machete, do you have the opioids ready?
I do have opioids. Yeah. Oh, that's ready. It's the coffee table's a little bit of a makeshift kind of surgical theater. I'm not gonna lie.
I mean, this is an impressive situation.
I know.
As
It's
you
all
lead
Nakano.
Cameron to
It
the
really
living
is.
room,
Like,
and Nakano goes like,
Not bad.
yeah. But
all of your companions have worked so hard together, using all of their unique abilities in order to make this moment possible. And you see that in this moment.
Tamron, can you go speak to your dad and we'll take your mom and.
Well, let me speak to my mom first to make sure
Yeah.
that she's, okay with this.
yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
And get some opium and we'll have some meat. And I think at the very least we'll cheers her all before we
I'm
all get
Just
to
afraid of your
going on
dad's
this.
reactions. That's why it's best. to
Yeah,
not
maybe I
know-
should talk to my dad first. Mima knows about this, right? So like me taking my dad aside to explain things is not
I just
gonna
don't
be
want her
surprising
last
to
moments to
right?
be, if they are her last moments to be,
Yeah.
everyone sad.
Well,
She's already in a
today,
happy place at this
the
current
day,
time.
today was supposed to kind of be the last hurrah anyway.
Well,
None of us are ignorant of that fact.
yes.
So,
I think
If
we
it
can
goes well, it goes well, and we have more days like this. And if it doesn't, then today was a fitting day.
That's fair. I think tell your mom we're ready for her if she's ready. And let's all have a good toast before she goes under, yes?
Yeah.
I don't think you should drink.
Yeah. I won't drink. I'll drink after this, okay? I'll be fine. I'll drink after.
Well, you can have some of the unfermented mead with the. Good
There you
berry
go.
and the- yeah.
There you go. I'll have a little bit of that, and then I'll still have some afterwards of the.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I'll continue preparing things, and it'll be okay, Tammy. I just give you a hug.
Trust you.
I know.
I trust all of you, and I know that you're gonna do your best. And if it doesn't go the way that we're seeing it happen right now, it's okay.
I'm crying too. It's fine.
Everyone group hug. Everyone.
Big group hug.
Y'all like group hug
Family.
in the living room with the triage web tent right next to you.
TJ's getting comfort.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. I need this right now.
Yeah.
We can do this.
Okay, so who's going?
Well, let me take my dad aside.
Okay. You can go into the kitchen and tap Note Fred on the shoulder and be like, "Come on, where do you want to take him? Which room? The room with the half elf with the spread open. Which
no.
which room? Because they're both
I'll take-
adjacent.
can I
There's
take
nowhere
him
else to go.
outside? I take him
Yeah.
outside, like
In order to like,
Little
you can
garden
take him
time, you
outside,
know.
but
To the garden,
you will
yeah.
pass through the living room with the
that's
gnome.
the
on
only
the
way
coffee
to go
table.
outside. Seems like a fire
Imagine it
hazard.
like your
to go
house.
Through the kitchen is the only.
Imagine
way
it
to go
like your
outside.
house. You
yeah, I
can't
can go
like,
outside,
Front door.
not going through the kitchen. That's
but
a
where
fire
the stairwell
hazard.
is the dining room. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Oh, I mean,
Front door.
back door. Yeah, you know what? There might be a back door in the kitchen if you were like some sort of like a smoker's patio type of thing. Yeah, yeah. If you want to go out that way, that's fine. It's like another front door that's like a little bit elevated that goes off to a small patio with like some herbs that are chilling on the garden of the banister. Sure, you want to take him out there? Absolutely.
Yeah. I'll take him. Say, Dad,
What is it, son?
Brooklyn.
my friends who are
Hey Ray, I forgot
very
it was
skilled.
Brooklyn. Yeah, I forgot. Sorry.
invest-
So I got so excited. I'm a little
Oh,
in my
Dad.
skamoosh, you know. So I dropped into one of the characters that I was in before. You know, I had to be like in the Nox Etra, I had to, and all those. I'm sorry. Anyway, what is it? What is it, son? You know, I just know. She's having
Friends
such a
who
great
are-
time.
medical experts and skilled investigators have discovered that
I discovered what?
it was sabotage against against.
Are you saying it? She was poisoned?
In a way, yes.
Is that what you're telling me?
Her,
You're saying
well,
someone tried to kill my wife? Your mother?
I think in an attempt to get to me,
Who was it?
but there. Well, we don't know. But we
Who?
have.
Was it?
If I knew, do you think that that I would be here right now, and not trying to kill them?
I'm sorry.
You
You know, I've killed a lot of people that have done wrong with your mother's help.
I know. And there's going to be time to investigate, figure out who did this and why.
Okay.
Um,
You want to come with me?
yeah, but it's not over yet.
Right. I'm sorry. It's about her.
they,
It's not
uh,
about... Right.
They also discovered that the poison was directed towards her lungs in an attempt to make them Dracosh. Alter the DNA in some way.
Oh,
Um,
that would make sense from the stuff that I've read.
yeah. But
Yeah.
we believe that it might be possible, even though it's a slight chance, that a transplant of the lungs might cure her. And we have some lungs available apparently, which to me seems
What?
insane. But yeah, there's lungs in the kitchen. We got lungs.
What?
Well, yeah,
Lungs in the
we got lungs in the kitchen. And if
I was just in the kitchen. There's no lungs in the kitchen.
the dining room, sorry.
What?
We got lungs in the house. We got lungs in this house.
How
We
many
got some
lungs
wet-ass
are in my
lungs.
house?
2 lungs.
Actually, 8 maybe.
Two
sides.
lungs.
Sorry, 2 disembodied lungs.
2 disembodied lungs. So one body? There's one body in my house?
Well, if there's 2 disembodied lungs, I'm guessing maybe there's 2 bodies in the house.
So 4 lungs? 2
Huh?
pairs of lungs, 4 lungs.
What?
2 pairs.
Lungs
There's-
come in pairs.
2
Okay.
pairs.
If we're going into semantics, there's 2.
Yeah, I mean, it
Full
matters.
sets
You
of
know, if
lungs.
I only
Yeah,
perforate
yeah.
1 lung, someone could survive. If I perforate
I think
both,
the important
they'll
thing
drown.
is here. I think that if she knows that we have lungs, but if mom consents to this, this might be her only chance.
You're talking about surgery.
Mm-hmm.
Does she know?
She knows.
You both look at each other, and then you look through the window of the door from the smoker's patio to her as she just kind of dancing to herself, no music. Doesn't look like she knows, but then again, that's her. God damn it. You know what, son? I love her so much. And I love you so much. Whatever it takes. You don't need my permission, of course. I mean, but do you trust your friends?
I do.
That's good enough for me.
I know they're gonna try as hard as they can. I know that this is probably our only chance.
What do you need from me?
Your support and your love.
I mean, you've had that since the day you were born. I mean, what else do you need? Do you need my
That's it.
hands? Do I need to hold something down?
No. I don't think so. I mean, we gotta ask the professionals, but
All right. We need to do this now.
as soon as possible while the lungs.
Fresh. Okay. Yeah. Pulls out a flask, takes a swig, hands it to you,
Take a swig.
takes it back, takes another swig, hands it back to you.
Take another swig.
Finally caps it off, puts it away. Yeah. Okay. Do we need to put her under or something, or what's the deal?
Yeah, we have drugs for that.
Oh. Okay.
Like they're professionals. We're professional. We got a professional operation here.
You,
In your living room.
Yeah.
Tammy, I'm proud of you. You really know how to choose some really good friends. I'm very proud of you. The right drugs for the right reasons. It's actually really important. You know. I'm serious. I'm being sincere.
Yeah.
You know.
No, I mean they're more
If
than
you
friends
didn't-
at this point. I feel like they got my back just like you got mine. Feels like family.
You found a good family, and I'm so proud of you. So no matter what happens, they're always welcome here. And we'll love them just as much as we love you. Because they did what they didn't have to for someone that they loved. And that's exactly what we did for you. And all of your siblings and all your cousins.
Family.
It's important. I love you.
Love you.
Let's save your mom, yeah?
Yeah, let's do it.
He throws the door open, Scoop skill casting the spell. No Fret looks at you, Scoop, and just kind of solemnly closes his eyes and just nods. And walks over to his wife and puts his hand on her shoulder as she's dancing. She's like, and immediately she understands what's going on because she got the letter. And she's like, he doesn't even have to say anything. She's like,
She's
And she
not
just looks-
laughing, right?
no, she's not. She was smiling for a bit, but the smile has faded. And she looks around, and Nofret then looks at you for direction. Because they don't know where to go.
I'll look at a scoop and I'll just be like,
Finish
No.
finish this last round, and then I need your help, Scoop. This is not easy.
I'm not getting rid of the spell for everyone's safety.
you can read my lips, right?
Yes.
Once she's
I just want to say she's not laughing. She'll go to sleep soon. I just want to say goodbye.
once she's done, once
It's
If she starts-
entirely up to a scoop.
If she starts, yeah, but that's true. If she starts laughing, we can put it back up immediately, right?
Not a
Do you-
ritual.
do you have a slot for it? Do you have the magic to do it immediately?
I'm not sure how much magic we'll need for the surgery.
True.
Okay,
Um, s-
maybe say goodbyes now, while it's safe, and the rest of us, we will stop it.
Nofret's kind of
Mm.
getting the idea of what's happening here, and he's just giving his wife a big hug.
We will have a
Like
toast now.
You can see him kind of weeping silently as he kind of gives her a big hug, and she's not crying. She's just smiling, and she understands what's happening, but she's already come to terms with the reality of things, and she's just like, yeah, I know, I love you too, and she's accepting the hug, but he
Yeah.
hasn't yet
Let's have the
accepted that losing her could be a possibility, so he's still weeping.
Yeah.
Let's have the toast now. While we're all safe and silent, and it will be a glorious time. And then
That's
maybe
beautiful.
you and your father can go out to the garden. And we can do what we need to do. And we will come get you when it's safe.
Okay.
All right.
Nofret scrambles over to one of the lower cabinets, pulls out what looks like a beautiful Chianti type bottle with the straw around the bottom, like the bottom third half of the bulbous bottom that then becomes a long neck before it comes to the top, and it has a nice fine red wax around the top where the cork is. As he pulls out one of his daggers and just takes the wax off and sticks it into the cork and pops it off. And you see there's this look of from Mima, and then oh no, we were saving that, and then realizing
This is it. Yeah.
Yeah.
you look at it and the year is over 200 years old.
Whoa.
Damn.
This
All
is
right,
probably something they looted from one of their many jobs that they had done as this is a perk of the job type of thing, and they were saving it for, who knows, maybe when you had a kid, who knows. And
I'm sorry.
they pop it open, pull out the nice glasses from the cabinet that are hanging upside down, pass them around. These are glasses, not goat horns, clay cups that are usually around this type of time. These are actual glasses. And he slowly pours it and hands it out to each and every one of you. You walk in with all your scrubs, and he's like,
Put it aside. I will drink it later. Give me just a little bit of what you were brewing now. It will be a good luck thing for the future.
he can't hear what you're saying because there's silence, but he sees your
I'll just
gestures,
point.
and he just
Yeah.
pours a cup and he puts it on the counter at the edge near where the dining room is. He hands it to all the rest of you, Nakano, a scoop, Tamrin, his wife, himself. He raises the bottle that's now empty, smashes it up against a counter, throws it over his shoulder, tears in his eyes, raises the glass. You see Mima Just kind of like grab his face and squeeze it and kind of push it away from her. And she starts drinking. It is divine. It is an extremely excellent vintage. It is a mead. It is the perfect amount of sweet to bitter. There's something about the actual flavor of this that makes you think of your most bittersweet memory that you've ever experienced. It immediately takes you back to that moment. Tamron, you're transported to the moment you're currently in.
Like I say, this might be that moment.
Yeah. You just feel this moment that much more. Nakano, you feel the moment where you escaped with Honoria and what could possibly have happened with them. A Scoop, you feel the moment where your sister was cured, but then you were shunned by your family. Masheni, you feel the moment.
I'm not drinking that yet.
That's right. You're not. Okay. I'll save it.
Tamron, you know what this needs? Some rivalries.
Mima finishes the drink, nods, and follows you guys. She heads over to where the dining room table
Hold on,
is.
can I give my mom a hug too?
Oh, absolutely. Yes, of course. Yeah. It's like there's like a big group hug going on, but yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. You may give your mom a hug. The hug lasts for an eternity, but at the same time, far too short. And she finally does the same thing she did to you as she did to her husband. She grabs you in your face and just kind of wiggles you and just pushes it away from you. Be like, stop fawning over me. I'll be fine.
I would have motioned to people to put cotton in their ears that were going to be part of this. So a Scoop and Nakano.
Yeah, as they walk through the threshold of that doorway, you can just be handing out cotton swabs to be
Yeah.
putting your easily. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
And you do so as people are then aware of what's going on. You absolutely can motion to everybody being like, you're not allowed in this because it's hermetically sealed. It needs to be just me. Meaning that you and No Fret can't do anything here other than pace outside this tent. So No Fret goes to one of the corner tables, pulls out a loose floorboard and pulls out a box of what looks like cigars. And he's like, he gestures to you and he's like, let's just go smoke cigars outside because I'm going to fucking lose it. So, do you go with him?
Nah. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, okay. He gestures to you too, as Scoop. Nakano, you will be very useful for help with this.
Yeah.
Because you have so many extra appendages that are so incredibly precise. So you could be an actual medical device that can help move things around.
But a Scoop has been, for lack of a better term, my nurse too.
That's I mean,
So it depends on if
No
you
Fret just
want,
gestures to him. It's
Yeah.
entirely up to
depends on what you want to
Scoop.
do a Scoop.
And you wave.
I'm
And
done.
no, go ahead. Okay. So you guys go outside. A Scoop, you enter the tent with your mask on. Nakana, you enter the tent with your mask on. Masheni, you enter the tent with your mask on.
Before entering the tent with the
Sure.
mask on, I will clasp Mima's hand in the warrior embrace and
The
just
predator handshake.
just be like, get ready.
Why? As soon as she goes under, I drop the spell and give Basheni enhanced ability.
Thank you.
Okay, cool. What ability are you enhancing? This is surgery, so
Wisdom.
it's a medicine thing. So
Wisdom's the best.
Yeah. Okay. What is that? Which one is it? So,
it's either intelligence or wisdom.
Owl's wisdom.
Okay.
All right. Cool. You do so. You guys are all set. The three
Actually,
of you.
I'll do it at level 4, so it's on 3 of us. Is
Oh,
it
wow.
3 or 2?
On the
Okay. Cool.
You have to. You tell me. You have the spell. It's your spell.
Yes, it's 3 people. So it's on all of us.
Okay. A scoop, you channel the power of the raging tempest that is the ocean to give you the wisdom and the foresight of what it means to flow with the tide and when it's time to resist it in order to get where it is that you need to go, and knowing what is in your control when it comes to those types of things and what isn't in control, and that's real wisdom. And all of you hear the sound of the sea within a seashell as he casts the spell. Of the waves coming in and out of the coast. And it's this soothing white noise that helps you focus in this moment.
And
Fred, go ahead.
I'll cast Death Ward, level 4, on Mildred.
On Mima?
Nima.
Yeah, cool. Neither of those require concentration? Or
Just
only one?
Enhance
enhanced
ability.
availability.
Okay, cool. Yeah, you cast Death Ward. That means that this will be great. That means the mechanic will mean if there is a fuck up, like if there's a bad moment where she could possibly die, you get an extra chance to try to roll that or whatever it is that happened.
Okay.
Because that'll give you like advantage on something posthumously after the fact. That could possibly be something that goes wrong. You guys are all ready. You all look at each other. You grab your tools. And you nod at each other to begin. Nofret and Tamrin are outside.
Add the opium to
Yes.
the very good mead that she just opened.
Perfect. Yes, she takes a nice big sip as she raises it and she drinks it. No big deal. She will lay down on the couch that is nearby. That is also within it. You guys are all set. You're ready to start as she begins to leave consciousness. Tamrin and Nofred are outside. The camera is zoomed in on a piece of flint and tinder as there's finally a flame that lights, and then it zooms out and you see the end of a cigar that starts to become embers. And you see in the red glow Nofret's face as he hands this cigar to you and starts to light his own. What do you do with it, Tamrin?
Smoke it down.
Take a look at it for a moment. Put it in your mouth. And both of you gaze up at the now starry sky above you and hope that all goes well. You've done everything you can. And that's where we're going to end our game tonight.
Are you fucking kidding me? Dude.
I knew
Yeah,
that. I already knew
Yeah,
it.
I saw that coming a mile
I
away.
know, but I'm like, I want resolution, damn it. I
That's
want
where we're
like-
going to end our game tonight. We're going to find out how the surgery goes next time, guys.
Called it.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Thank you guys for watching so much. We love you very much. As always, stay safe out there. We'll see you next time. Goodbye.